All right, folks, enough of that because results are coming in hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. All right, thanks for watching Inside the Numbers with the People's Pundit. I'm your host, Rich Barris, the People's Pundit. Ba-da-da-ba. Don't forget, if you like the videos, to like them and to share them far and wide, etc., etc. All right, tonight, Florida is hosting the big primaries. Let's put it up on the screen now because it's coming in quick, okay? Don't forget, of course, follow me on the gram. Follow me on, which is at peoples_pundit, the same that it is on X and TikTok, peoples.pundit. And of course, the best thing that you could do right now for yourself and for your friends and your family and everyone else in the world who wants to know what's going on is to pre-order Burn It Down. What the polls show young Americans really want, which is the central theme, obviously, of the 2026 midterm election, which will not change anytime soon. It will only continue to become more and more relevant as time goes on. All right, let me just really quickly look here before I go ahead and put some of this stuff up, which I'm going to. You can actually see that Collins and some of the vote that's come in, everyone wins their own backyard, or you think they will. We'll take a look at Republican turnout when all is said and done. With about 25% in, then it is looking more like the polls that were modeled, that were more favorable to Byron Donalds. However, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. The question was, and Decision Desk did a great write-up on it, is this thing really competitive? And the fact is, the polls disagreed to what extent Byron Donalds would basically, stroll to victory in this nomination, or whether or not Fishback actually had a chance to pull this off. I have tried to tell people, but I don't think they're going to call this thing until this is the stuff is, the time zone. We get a little bit closer, but I think people need to understand that polls in primaries, let me put it this way. Because polls in primaries may not have done well does not mean polls are not going to be predictive in the general election. Okay, guys, it's just a misnomer that I'm hearing floating around, everywhere. The average miss over the last 10 years, if you look just at gubernatorial and senatorial primary polls, the average miss is about 13%. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. It's just a different animal. And yes, we will look at David Jolly in a second. I'll give you some background. I know David Jolly. I think Republicans are going to do very well as far as like the turnout comparison, but we'll dig a little bit deeper inside the numbers, right? And I'll show you that, in fact, these comparisons to 2022 that I've been seeing all day long, because of course people don't want to compare a presidential cycle when Republicans romped to the early vote advantage and then romped on election day, of course, and Trump wound up winning the state by 13 points. By the way, we're the only poll that showed that. There are always caveats when you see these comparisons that people don't tell you about. And by the way, Foster, with hardly any vote in, is actually winning Dixie. Wow. He just took, with the early vote, he just took Clay by like 224 votes. But let's go. Nobody cares about this. David Jolly's going to win this thing. I think we all know that. David Jolly was in the Republican Party for a while. All right. See, Byron is now starting to really clean up. As the election day vote comes in, Byron Donalds is going to win more and more of it. I do find it funny. Not funny. It's not funny for James Fishback at all, but he is way behind. The polls did not have Jay Collins and Paul Renner doing better than Fishback. This is still a lot of early vote. So wait, Florida will drop their early vote first. Then they will count their election day vote, and we can start to look at some of them. Look at that nicely. You guys did great. Listen, let me just give a shout out to the Decision Desk. They understood some of the deficiencies that they had here in DDHQ votes, which was in beta when I first got it, and I'm grateful that they shared this with me. But I do find it interesting that they are trying to pick up, like, look, the New York Times does this little thing, and you just saw it happen. When it updates, the vote totals move, they update, and it's really cool effect that they did. Of course, I'm going to get into how I went viral today. Thank you to Grace Chong, as always. Let me just say that real quick. Hold on. Can I get myself up here, please? Thank you. Can I get myself up here? Thank you. Thank you to Grace Chong, who clips our shit all the time. Laura's going to be like, you can't stop cursing for nothing. Let's reverse this. Thank you to Grace Chong, who clips our shows all the time. She's an absolute animal, and she clipped some stuff from my appearance with Quite Frankly, which I haven't been on that show for a while. It's my good friend Frank. He's got a great show. If you guys have never seen it, you should definitely check out Quite Frankly. And we had an awesome conversation, and in it, we discussed the fracture of MAGA, which she clipped. It already had gone viral. And then from that point on, Alex Jones picked it up today because, of course, I did cite Alex in this segment with Frank. And then there was also, I torched Mark Levin on Matt Gaetz yesterday in case you didn't say, like, you could see Matt. Did you watch it? You guys got to watch the whole interview. You could see Matt actively trying to hold back the laughter. It was something else. So go check that out. But Grace clipped a ton from my interview with Frank, which I think needed to get out. And it certainly did today. And I will play that clip in a little bit. I'll play a clip of Alex watching the clip in a bit, but let's get back to the results. I just wanted to give Grace a serious, thank you, because she's just awesome. She's amazing. All right, let's pull this up. Boop. All right, I could take a look at the polls real quick. We should do that. All right, there it is. You could actually see Fishback and Collins pretty close as far as primary polls go. And again, let me finish saying what I was saying. People, 10 years of me doing this, and people still don't understand how to consume and read polls. Primary polls over the last 10 years, quick analysis for gubernatorial and senatorial shows that the average miss was about 13 points. And get this, a miss like we saw on the scale of Wisconsin. Now, that's not talking about presidential primary polls. This is senatorial and gubernatorial polls. A miss like we saw for Hong the other day, 20 something points. That happens about 10% of the time. People need to understand how primaries are very, very different than general election, especially presidential polls. And there was a thing by Patrick Raffini today. I'm just looking to see when Donald's even winning Gainesville and Alachua. Yeah, yes. All right. So this thing today from Patrick Raffini analyzed the last 4 cycles of Senate polls to argue that there is always a Democratic advantage, then wind up overstating Democrat support by about 4%. That is true looking at the totality of 4 midterm cycles. That's absolutely true. But I would caution you guys on a couple of key Senate races where that doesn't matter this cycle. It just doesn't. Number one, Ohio. Sherrod Brown's lead in the state of Ohio is currently outside of the average era for the state of Ohio when Democrats had advantages. And also, I'm telling you this, when Tim Ryan led J.D. Vance in the summer of 2022, in the USA Today poll, in these other polls, he did not lead in our poll. J.D. Vance was when I first started talking to the guy. I mean, well, I talked to him before that, but I mean, really, talking to him, like, do not believe your own pollster. Do not believe the public polls. This is where you're really at. I literally told him, calm down. You are ahead. It may look tight, but it's not that tight. In the summer, it's always a bunch of undecided people, and they will break your way because that's what the internals show. That's what inside the numbers, what we're reading, the true trends show. And calm down, you'll be sailing to victory. Okay. Unfortunately, in North Carolina, we saw the same thing where Ted Budd always had a lead. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and this should have been the open of Inside the Numbers, is that, look, guys, the first serious midterm signals have already emerged, and the numbers tell a much different story than what the political class experts are trying to tell you. Now, they all have an agenda, and I am trying to explain to you how to put it in context. Midterm, primary, senatorial, and gubernatorial polls being missing are not indications that the general election polls are going to miss somehow, some wild picture. There are other signals that are clear, they're predictive, and they have already become very obvious and very prevalent. And one of them, by the way, will be Florida, because I don't think that Republicans are going to hit the number that we wanted to see in order to say, okay, you know what? David Jolly really isn't going to make this thing close in November. And I will show you this, okay? but just bear with me. Well, let's wait for the results to kind of roll in here. Right now, right off the bat, what's screaming at me is that the argument was whether or not Fishback would be able to make an upset. Nobody said, is Jay Collins going to make an upset? Nobody said, is Paul Renner going to make an upset? It was about James Fishback, who is currently sitting at 7.37%. This is an underperformance, and this is going to be a poll miss, even if, like, I know one pollster everyone's going to jump on and pounce on if he doesn't get a serious change in the vote within the next 4%. I know one of them is going to get it, but the truth is a bunch of other ones also had issues, and we can actually show you that right now if we go down. Here is the Public Sentiment Institute. Donalds plus 3.9, Donalds plus 2.3. If you look at those polls, you will actually see oh crap, I don't want to do that. Okay. If you look at those polls, you'll actually see it's not just him. Others largely had Fishback in second until the very end here, where some of them did have Jay Collins surging. And you can actually see what I love about DDHQ is they'll show you the trend here. All right. Right now, it's looking like a Byron Donalds plus 25 or more. So if you're betting on what Donalds' margin is going to be, that's probably what you should be betting on right now. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I think it is. It's a matter of margin now. It is not a matter of I'm being fair, because the truth is we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see, for the other time zone and the election day vote. Hold on one second. I'm waiting for a code to be sent to me here. Guys can see this on here. Come on. Verification code. Oh, it went to my email. It didn't go to my. Sorry, guys. Hang on one second. Guys, I don't know. I'm just saying the audiobook sounds kind of good. I just got to tell you guys, the audiobook is sounding kind of good. I'm just saying. So if you were waiting for the audiobook, I think you're going to be happy. Yes, log into existing account. Why, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Fingerprint away. Thank you. Come on. Oh my God. Now we need it again. Sent to my phone. So it's like, okay, is this your email? Is this your phone? Yeah, let me set this up. We send a code to your phone number again so we can check your face. Why, thank you. Why, thank you very much. Come on, let's go. Fingerprint too. Good. We should be verifying votes like this, by the way. Signature verification is a thing of the past. We should absolutely be verifying votes. Fishback's vote percentage is up. I would go with, oh yeah. Vote percent. Oh yeah. There's some good bets out there right now. I don't want to do it because I'm not Barnes. Okay. So I'm not going to show you guys what I think is, oh, you guys have this up? My bad. Yeah. 26.6. That's about right. Okay. So if we go down here, margins remaining. Okay. So a lot of the vote, obviously, we have nothing in Polk. We have nothing. Well, the Tampa area is Donald's 14.3. I'm curious about that, actually. Let's go check that out. So Hillsborough is Collins is in second. Fishback is in third. 62% in. Oof, God, I don't know. I got to be honest. Yes. Everyone's going to say, what a dominant victory. Yeah, sure it is. It could have been better, Byron. It could have been better. And I think you know why that is, buddy. I think you know why that is. I told you not to dodge these guys. You should have had this debate and you should have just sucked it up. You weren't Donald Trump, bro. Donald Trump didn't need to debate because Donald Trump, look at this. You can actually see that's awesome. You didn't have the stature, or I don't want to say entitlement. It's not entitlement. That's not the right thing to say. You didn't have the goodwill of the voter the way that Donald Trump did. This guy was already under indictment. You know what I'm saying? He was already under indictment, and people understood that it was kind of his. It was his. And anyone, look, they're going after him with lawfare. Anyone who's denying him the ability to do better or fight back was basically a traitor. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say, Hold on, let me set this out, James. Including the Republican primary for governor. Okay, the funny thing is, again, if you look at all the headlines, including our own or our stuff about, well, Florida's the big night, and it's got the big test for Trump's endorsement and this and that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, everybody painted it as a Fishback versus Byron thing, and the truth is, it's just not looking like that. It's looking more like Collins is doing better, which it doesn't surprise me. I tried to warn a lot of people who polled Florida. We put it up, it didn't get funded. No, everybody was, truth be told, a lot of people were afraid to poll against Byron. They were terrified. And so they had a chilling effect, and that includes donors who usually donate to the public polling project. They chilled us, so nobody wanted to see this survey get done, and that's really sad. I don't like that. It pisses me off that people would get involved with my business like that. Like, this is supposed to be a public thing. This is not supposed to be something that's influenced by any political party, and very clearly it was, because I could see people were very, very, very upset and scared that basically we'd end up finding a result that Byron didn't like. And I don't like that shit, guys. I mean, that's corny. It's corny. We got to see the panhandle. I see your questions. The truth is, for instance, look at this. Donalds in Okeechobee, 39%. Absolutely pathetic. Hardy is 41% in. What is, just out of curiosity, Collier, 67.9. That's very good. Monroe is only 53.6. We got to look and see how that changes when more election day vote is counted. And I know Fishback really hit the panhandle hard, but again, Collins clearly ran the better alternative campaign. I don't know. I know what some people are going to say. I already know it. And no, I'm not dismissing it. I'm not. It's just, I warned a lot of people who are polling this race. This is Florida. And these older voters who are in Florida, even though Trump, he clearly does not have the grip on them the way he used to. Clear, obviously. His candidate is struggling to stay above 50%. It never would have happened. Once upon a time, I remember when DeSantis was down to Mr. Redhead, who, no, he was a nice guy, but it wasn't his time. And DeSantis was at like 18%. I remember measuring the impact of the Trump endorsement live in real time. And back then we were still mixed mode, but I'll check. I'll check. Probably not. I'll go look at it. I know if people are I know, guys. Where are all of them? Can't I just put 11? All 660 in total. Let me find a race here. These voters are just different. It's just different, guys. It is. It's Florida, and you can't bank on younger voters coming out. You just can't. All right, hold on. I can't believe the guy went through the mailbox either. I can actually. Listen, he voted in someone else's stead. I don't know what you expect. The guy is a piece of crap. Randy Fine, a piece of shit, guys. I don't know what else you expected from the guy going through people's stuff. It's gross. We don't want that one. We want this one. Wow, what a pathetic. Bilzerin's winning in Flagler. Oh my God. Wait a minute. This is a really bad performance by Randy Fine. He's winning in Volusia and stuff, and Lake is in. I'm not surprised. That's the impact of the Trump endorsement. That's what that is. But in order for Bilzerin to have been doing this well in Flagler, which, by the way, guys, I hate to tell you, Flagler is not some anti-Semitic friggin' county. Flagler is awesome. It's the home of course, what's there? All right. Oh, man. Oof. Bad night for independence. Got to see what's left in Flagler. You know what I meant. That's 4,000 and 2,000 something. It's Volusia's almost in. Volusia's going to offset Bilzerin's surge in Flagler. I actually am shocked that Randy Fine. I mean, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Randy, I ran behind 20 points fine, and it's just fine. What do we call Randy? I ran 20 points behind Donald Trump, but I'm just fine. Is not a good candidate. He's not a good. He's not popular at all. He performed horribly, and this he was the beginning of the danger signs for Republicans in 2025. Randy Fine was the beginning of when you were starting to say this is a problem, this is an issue. And I'm not surprised that he's doing this bad. I really am not. Let me just look around the map here, and I will try to answer that for. We just have to wait, guys. I mean, there's nothing in Marion County, which is Ocala. It is a red county, so I mean, Fishback's doing really, really not good. Yeah, the Mills race is close. I told you guys. Corey Mills was going to be in trouble. Told you. I mean, it's not. I mean, dude, that's a big problem. I mean, he is a big, big problem. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Are you guys? Don't entertain these people with their stupid little election. I decided to model Congress, and here's how I keep giving. Here's how I gave. Here's how I gave. There's no way. Oh, that's a good bet. Byron Donalds is good. There's some good bets for Donalds right now on his vote share. Election day vote is going to be more pro Donalds, guys. It will be. I should have said that. I should have shut up. I said that, and at least 45 jumped from 73% to 93%. I'm not saying anything anymore. I didn't even have a chance to put my own damn bet in. I'm not doing it anymore. You know what? Or I will do this. You know what? I've just decided. I will do this. I'll start for 5 or 10 minutes of a show with election results where it is not for subscribers or behind like supporter paywalls or member paywalls on YouTube. And then if like you're a YouTube member or a local supporter, if you're not on Rumble at all, then it is what it is. Well, with Rumble, it connects to locals now. So I can technically, if it's a supporter only, it'll technically, like once I hit that button, which is a button that says, now start the countdown, and it'll go blurred for people who aren't subscribers. For people who want to gamble and shit, because I see you guys, I'll do that, because otherwise saying things like that in public is just gonna, Grace or you needs to clip that last rant and separately the alien talk. You're talking about put them on TikTok. Ryan, you talking about on Quite Frankly? And you don't have to give me another tip just to say that, brother. I mean, shit, I'll take it, but you don't have to do that. Which one were you talking about, Ryan? I know, guys. Thanks so much for this, by the way. Techno Data says, I can't wait to read Rich's book next month. That definitely would be apropos to see Boomer Gen suffer with the rest of us. This book, I'm telling you, is like, I have high hopes that it'll start a new conversation. I really do. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, of course, I'm talking about Burn It Down. It is like the book of the 2026 midterm cycle. That's number one. But also number two, it is not like the idea that it's going to be the central theme of the next several elections. It's not going away anytime soon. This will be more prescient as time goes on. And there it is. Oh, there you go. Pre-order it on Amazon. The link is in the description. Definitely. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for, and I swear I'm working as hard as I can to get you guys that to get you guys that audio for a bunch of you I know who want the audio. Before everyone starts figuring out what is happening, Polk has a lot of votes. Highlands have a lot of votes. I think I got to tell you, regardless of what happens, will the story be the embarrassment of the pollsters, or will the story be the embarrassment of Byron Donalds? Now, he's not going to lose, I don't think. I mean, unless something dramatically changes. We have a lot of votes in now. I mean, he's got a look at this. But the fact is, this is not a very good performance. It's not. And I know the polls had him at like 35, so they could argue, no, it was good. It was good. Guys, it really was not. I mean, this is he should have done better than this. I'm sorry, he should have done better than this. It's just a fact. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Say wayo, wayo, boom, boom, boom. And let me hear you say wayo, wayo. Shit, dude. We just got to wait for more to come in. Florida will start in very soon. It will start to really report results very quickly. As you see how the panhandle's coming in now, a lot of votes in Leon County, and that's a good share for Byron, but it's just, I mean, a good net vote, but it's not a good enough share. Will he fall below 50? Fallujah's a lot. The question is, there's a couple of counties, when they roll in some more results, there's a couple of counties where I got to see whether or not his vote share is above. Because this is pathetic. It's pretty pathetic. I'm telling you. It is pretty pathetic, guys. I do not think this is what he wanted to see. I don't. I think he's going to take it. And he's going to come out and be happy about it, but I don't see it. Yeah, I mean, listen, the truth is, if it was somebody other than Blizzarian, whatever, Bilzerin, Randy Fine could have been challenged. I told people this. It's like, I don't know why Randy Fine is like somebody who is, did they call it? They probably called it by now. I don't know why Randy Fine is like such a big, problem for everyone's doesn't want to primary him. He's a problem. The guy has to go. Vindman is not doing well. Oh my God. He's winning Monroe. Yo, you could have made some bank off this, dude. He collapsed in the betting markets. You could have made some bank off this. Yeah. Palm Beach, though, has a 12, but they're 92 in. Vindman's going to lose, dude. If Angie keeps doing this well, holy shit. I just realized I know who Angie Nixon is. Oh my God. That's why she's doing so well in Central. Holy shit. I bet you she flips Marion County too. Oh my God. I just realized who it is. Holy shit. Holy shit. I got to tell my wife. How did I not recognize her until now? Oh my God. Hold on. Yeah, it's her. Oh man. Sure is. That's crazy. I got more than 27%. I know some people are saying, "Oh, they're tied on NBC." It's not. 1.1. That's Ashley Moody with 1.1. It's 67% in. I got to tell you guys, Florida Democrats kind of fell off after a while, but I'm not unimpressed. Okay, hold on. Let me look at some stuff here. Give me 1 second. That's still at 67. Ooh. Ooh, that means he's doing okay. Guys, that means Donald is doing better in some higher vote. Can we get the breakdown? Why not? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me the margin. Give me the election day margin. I mean, Palm Beach Fishback's margin is just so bad, but there's only just a little bit left. The big vote getters where Byron Donalds is above 50, there's just not a lot left in them. Yeah, and even in Leon, that's just not great. St. John's, Duval, it's going to be close. The bet is whether or not he'll end up above 50 is going to be close. It's too hard to know for sure right now. Trump's loss of the panhandle here is really notable. His candidate's in third place in Dixie. Holy smokes. That's bad, guys. You need margins out of these counties. I know Republicans, it's Florida's red now, but look at this. Liberty. Oof. That used to be Trump country, dude. Ugh. He used to be able to get votes in these like Democratic panhandle pockets, little pockets of Democrats sprinkled around the panhandle. And he used to be able to get that, and he's just not anymore. Yeah, I don't want to put that stop in yet. I really just don't. All right, so we wait. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's got to be a mistake. That can't be right, guys. Henry. That's when I see shit like that, it's a mistake. Usually, we'll see. Let them correct it. But Hardy is not a mistake, and I'm curious to know what Collins did in the final few days. He probably just mailer bombed and talk radio bombed. That would be the right call. While Byron Donalds was running on Fox News and with Trump's endorsement and sending out texts, he was running some ads too. He was. But look at Monroe. That is like, because Monroe is not what it used to be. Key West, all of that. It's not as Republican as it once upon a time was. And it's Republican, don't get me wrong. Bill Nelson, it was key to Nelson's fall. Monroe was key to Bill Nelson's fall in 2018. But yeah, I mean, the margin here is, it's not what, if you're Byron Donalds, I know he's, like I said, I know he'll come out and he'll put a happy face on, but this is a little sad. Yeah, so Ryan, what were you saying? Put them up on TikTok. Let me go and see if I can find what you were saying, which one I think you meant. But Florida is red, but it will be closer this year. It will. Nothing bad about Angie. Nothing bad. It's just I do know who he is. And W.C. Lice. That is why it will be closer. Do I think they can beat him? No. There's a Senate race there this year, and Republicans are gonna, Oh, I see. Yes, on his show, on Frank's show, right? Yeah. That was a good conversation, man. That was a really good conversation. I miss talking to Frank. And we didn't even get into the disclosure poll. Didn't that suck? Well, I got to get back on there and talk more about the disclosure poll. Yeah, I was going to, hold on. Hold on one second. I think maybe if you want to pop in. Hold on. I don't know if any, I don't know. Pop them up. I'll see. Maybe they will. I mean, Bilzerian made for everyone who was like dismissing it. I mean, the guy he's an incumbent congressman. So for him to be doing, I should have put it in the watch list. I'll have to keep going back and forth. Oh, I just wanted to wait for that dump, and then I was going to just check on Randy's race, and that happened. Whoops. I'll have to search for it. Let me go back. Let me see what happened there. Yeah, so I think Byron he's starting to get a little bit more. There we go, Beluga. He's still at 49. That's kind of flat there. That's not really enough. And then Wakula, yeah, this is the Panhandle is like not great margins for him. It's just not. This race should have been an easy to win race with 60% of the vote. It's true. With Trump really should be much more popular than he is now, and he's underwater even in Florida. It's just a fact, guys. It's a fact. I wish I could have polled again in the last like 6 to 8 weeks. After Mike Lindell made that mistake with amnesty, I didn't get a chance to poll the race again, and I wanted to. Enough to know that Angie Craig being upset by Flanagan is actually Peggy Flanagan's a good thing. Maybe it'll force Democrats to spend money in Minnesota because Flanagan did not have the edge that Angie Craig had. I mean, that race was over even against Michelle Tafoya. But Michelle actually ran somewhat competitively against Peggy Flanagan. She did. Now, contrary to what all the town hall neocon crew told you, they all lose to Amy Klobuchar by 20 points, not just Mike Lindell. They all lose. We'll see whether or not they can tighten that race up too, but it's very, very doubtful. Do you guys know the last time Republicans won a statewide race in the state of Minnesota? 2006, Tim Pawlenty. The only guy who came close to winning it since Donald J. Trump in 2016 particularly. And then they gave up. I mean, in halfway through 2020, they gave up. And halfway through, never in 2024 did they even try to target Minnesota, which is really, really sad because I think Trump could have been playing his hand right. He could have been the candidate who won Minnesota, and he just didn't. It's a shame. It is indeed a shame. All right, let me see if I can grab this. Let's see what happens with the next couple of drops. I think it's going to be hard to get Byron above 50 if this keeps up. It was just look at Marion. That's tragic. He needs to win the election day dumps in Marion County by like 60-40 that it's 65. It's not going to happen. Well, that's not true. It could. From what I'm seeing in the rest of this area, he's running rather weak. Good Levi, 35 with 66% of the vote in. Putnam. I mean, this is all bordering. Excuse me. It's all bordering. Also, we'll have to look at it later, but the northern part of Marion County that butts more against Alachua, they have what's called the red wall of Alachua, which goes around the city of Gainesville and keeps the blue contained. And Byron should be doing better, and he's not. So why is he not doing as well in Alachua County as he is in and urban is not the right word to use, but other traditionally blue areas like Miami-Dade and where he's winning in Palm Beach by 59%? It's because he's surrounded by more working class areas. Alachua is surrounded by more whiter working class areas. Byron is doing the best. Yeah, Indian River, St. Lucie, not surprised. Byron is doing the best that he is doing outside of, in Osceola, he didn't do it either. Okay. So it's like, oof. Yeah. He's doing the best. He's like in new MAGA areas, but the original OG MAGA coalition areas, he's not doing well in. So, I mean, he's winning them. It's actually, the truth is he's not in the Big Bend area, but we'll see how that goes. So this is the Panhandle over here, and then parts of the Panhandle, which I'm not going to give away some of our sauce when it comes to polling, but Florida has to be broken up into more regions than people traditionally do or expect to do when they poll the state. It's one of the reasons why they have enormous misses in Florida. And then each of those regions have to have their own representative sample. So how do you do that? You have to have very large sample sizes. You cannot poll the state of Florida 400 people, guys. You just can't. You cannot poll the state of Florida with 600 people. The minimum sample size years ago for the state of Florida, back when they were still doing 450 n equals 450, the original one, guys, was 850 for big data poll, I believe. And we always did about 1,000 or 1,000 more. 2,000, 3,000 is really what you need to do in Florida. It's just the truth. Wow. At least 50% now on Kalshi. At least 50% is trading at 12 cents. That's cray. Wow. Somebody's down big time. They're trying to offload their shares. 10,000 of them at that price. Oh my God. Sorry, bro. I just don't, unless the vote dramatically changes, I just don't see it. We'll see in Bay County. I'm waiting for Bay. There's always a nice chunk. Hey, little man, what are you doing? You just ripped the camera and twisted it. Hold on one second, guys. Let me put it up. Little man, what are you doing? Hey, you just knocked into my camera. Look at what you did, dude. Look what you did, dude. Look what you did, dude. I got you. I got you. 4-1-1. It's okay, Winston. We're just playing. Boys just playing. Come on over here. Come to Daddy. Come sit under my feet. That's where I like you, dude. I like you under the feet, man. Come sit under the feet. Right here. All right. Sit. Come here, boy. Well, you can't get in the camera. Your mommy will kill me. What? Okay. Sit. Do me a favor. Sit. Good boy. Stay. Chill. While we wait for more votes to come in. He's got one blue eye and one brown eye. Come here. Let me show you. Let me show everybody the one. This is my Winston, for people who don't remember. My little Winston. I know. You love your daddy. He's got one brown eye and one blue eye. It's really, really cool. I actually meant to get a red try when I went to go get him. All right, calm down. Yeah, I know you want attention. Calm down. And he stole the show. He did, because he came over and he basically pranced right in front of all the red tries because he's a black try. And he was like, no, I don't think so. I think I'm going home with you. Look at my one eye. It's blue. Isn't that cool? And he just stole the show. So I was like, you know what? Instead of the red female, and I'm very big on not getting males because you know what males do, guys. But he just took it. He took it away, and isn't that right, buddy? I'll get you a little peanut butter thing soon, okay? Speaking of peanut butter, you know what Daddy could go for, Roro? A banana peanut butter true fruit. Oh, I'll be right back, guys. Ooh. Okay. Wait a minute. Before I go, though, I think I just saw something come in. Okay, there's the rest of some Valacho. There's Marion. Okay, but no Bay yet. All right, let's go back and check some of these counties. We have nothing else so far. Putnam, yeah, he is not going to make 50%, guys. I got to tell you, it's going to be tough. I mean, I don't know, guys. What's the more interesting stuff at this point? Worthless effing app, somebody wrote. They're pissed. I don't blame them. You got to be careful with primary polls. Got to be careful. Banana true fruit and blueberry true fruit. With dark chocolate too. Banana true fruit. You guys ever see this stuff? Don't worry, I'm not paid by True Fruit to sell their stuff. The People's Pundit just likes it. You have to learn to eat True Fruit, buddy.
Yeah, never tried before.
Yeah, but you'll like it.
I don't know if I like it or not.
Big money could have been made on the Democratic Senate side. Let's check it out. Vindman's going down, dude. Vindman is going down. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Let me just check on this. Miami is done. Vindman still has Monroe. 92% in Palm. Oh, is the deep state trying to do this girl dirty? But she's still, nope, she doesn't. Osceola's out. But she can hold it back if the rest of the big men in the panhandle come in for her. Look at her. Jacksonville is done. Nassau, basically, yeah. Baker, let me just check out some stuff here, guys. Gadsden's done. Wow, she cleaned his clock. In Gadsden, she cleaned his clock. Oh my goodness. Not oh my God. Oh my goodness. Right? And his margin in Palm Beach, though, is kind of big, but that's 11,000. He's not getting that. Sarasota's in. Well, this map tells a story. You know what it is? The educated white liberal went in for Vindman, and the traditional Democrat went for Angie Nixon. Interesting. Very, very interesting. How's Moody doing over here? Lose a single county? Nope. Go, girl. Go, girl. We still don't have Bay. 7 minutes. Bay's pretty good with once 7 minutes is up. Bay is pretty good at this. Dude, Fishback at 10%. Dude. Oof. I'm going to tell you guys what happened. You guys are polling part of the new MAGA coalition. They have vote history because it was new for Trump, but they're not voting in primaries. It is an older electorate. You guys have got to stop putting these people in your likely voter models, okay? They're not going to vote on the right. It is not happening, okay? I hate to tell you. We may get a guest or two for 15 minutes. In fact, I'm thinking of kind of waiting for one before. Okay. And you also, because everybody has misses, so I'm being forgiving. Even I had a miss this cycle. Even though everyone else's misses are starting to make mine look like fucking... Excuse me, pardon my French in front of my child. I'm starting to make mine look like a mild miss compared to these guys. I'm not kidding. All my biggest critics, look at their misses. Shall I pull up Michigan? Holy crap. I never had a 20-point miss in my life. And I don't intend to. Oh my God. But you can't be emotionally invested. Michael T. Hayward, I want to read your comment. According to the RCP poll average, Trump's second term, second year, August 18th approval rating, which is 39.1, is lower than George W. Bush's was in the second year of his second term at this point. You are absolutely right, which was 40.5. I've been saying lately, so is Barnes, there's a lot of similarities between 2006 and 2026. A lot. Be honest, guys, what in Sam hell are we waiting on? They're waiting on Bay County. That's what everyone's waiting on, Bay County. As if that can somehow make up 340,000 votes. Come on. I'm just looking. I don't really even see big vote getters where Collins he can drag them down, but these are not big vote getting counties. Bay is the last one, especially the last Republican big vote getting county. I bought 45 cents. I mean 45%. That's what I bought earlier. I bought it when it was still in flux about whether Byron would get 50 because people were kind of like it was lower. Now it's 93, 95 as I'm talking. I'm over here chomping in the microphone. Take the true fruit away.
What do you say to him? What do you say to him?
I'm chomping in the microphone. That's all. All right, listen, while we wait for Bay County, I got an idea. While we wait for Bay County, let's play the clip. You ready? Go.
Tucker, you can come back. Don't worry, Joe, you can come back. Don't worry, Marjorie, you can come back. Don't worry, Thomas, you can come back. Don't worry, Alex, you can come back. Don't worry, Marjorie, you can come back. What do all these people have in common? They're either OG MAGA or they represent what was truly new MAGA in 24, and they brought along the numbers that got us a winning coalition. You know, all of these other people out there, they dismiss these criticisms and these people fracturing off. You act like you had a 10-point popular vote win or something. You don't. And let me just give everybody a little bit of a stat, and then I'll kick it back to you, because this is real, and these people can destroy the Republican Party if they choose to do so. So instead of, mocking them and making fun of them, you should be trying to figure out how to court them back, because you chase them away for a tiny parasitic sliver of the coalition. Neocons are nothing. They're literally dying right in front of our faces, people. Lindsey Graham just corked off out of nowhere. Mitch McConnell is still alive, but he's not, okay? They're literally dying in front of our face, and you're sacrificing the future coalition, the future of America, our future ability to win elections for these dinosaurs who are going extinct. And the truth is, the comet has been heading to Earth for years. They just never saw it coming because they're too stupid and too old to see it. So
I don't know who that guy is, but he's smart and I want him on. But I don't want to be back at the cool table. I mean, quite frankly, Democrats get back in there trying to put me in prison. I'm not course corrected on Trump because of that, but it's a nice fringe byproduct that they might not be as energetic to put me in prison as they were last time.
Alex, I'll play the rest of the clip, but I just got to stop it here. Brother, I don't know who that guy is. I've been on your show half a dozen times. Bro, do you remember when you were deplatformed and you had to redo all of this stuff? And Robert Barnes was like, don't worry. I know the perfect guy who can come in and do this research for you. He'll get you the answers you need. Who the hell do you think that was, Alex? Jesus H. Christ. I love you too, bro. It's all right. Also, you follow me on X, bro. It's all right, man. It's all right, Alex. Everything's crazy these days, and I get it. I get it, bro. I really do. All right, here we go. Byron Donalds has won. Thank the Lord. They waited for Bay. They didn't even. You know what, though? The truth is they probably have insight into what the margin is. All right, so Byron Donalds has defeated Jay Collins and James Fishback, who will Fishback, will he end up at 10% of the vote? Honestly, bro, that's a good question. A lot of the main Eastern time zone areas of Florida are done, as you can see. The problem for Fishback is in some of the bigger areas like Marion. We don't know what's going to happen here in Gulf. Son, you got to watch that camera, okay? Or else I gotta tie you to the chair over there, okay? You want me to tie you to the chair? Oh, no! Here I come! Just kidding. I would never do that. Oh, hold on, guys. Yes, Pumpkin Pie. Daddy's kind of live on the show right now. What's up? You all right? Haven't they been doing? Wasn't that supposed to be done hours ago? All right, where are you? Are you Is there a crowd? Does he have a crowd? So it's just him and your mother? Well, you know how teenage boys are, baby. They gotta like perform for the crowd. You know what I mean? That's why I'm asking. All right. Well, can I call you back in a little bit? It's all right. Can I call you back in a little bit and just would figure out? Can you go grab her and tell her to look at her messages? And it's 8:00. Got to figure out what I'm gonna eat. Yes, tell her to look at her messages for me, okay, sweetheart? And then because, like, I mean, honestly, got to figure out what we're gonna do for dinner since there was no time. Okay. All right. I love you too, baby. I'll call you soon. Bye. Oh my God, guys. She loves me again. Oh my God, I'm so happy. You know, it's like teenage girls, they go through this thing. First of all, if you're a father and you don't have a daughter, bear with me. All right. But if you do have a daughter, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. So I had a son first. I was like, God, please, Lord, please give me a son first. Please, please, please. And he did. And I did a cartwheel, actually, when I found out about it, even though in that state, it's illegal to tell you what the sex is of the baby. But they scribbled it on the screen and pointed to it and said penis. And I was like, yes. And then I did a cartwheel. But I always did want a girl. I just wanted it after my boy. So exactly what is happening this coming year could happen. When she, who I figured would be pretty because she's going to be the daughter of my wife, when she becomes a freshman in high school, my very large son will be a senior. You feel me? And he has strict instructions to stop anybody who goes near his little sister, which he will do for me. So that's all out of the way. But she's such a good girl. I really don't have to worry about that. But when they're little and they're like, I didn't even want to touch her for like the first couple of weeks. I don't know. She just was so tiny and I was afraid. I'm like, I think I'm too rough, Laura. I don't think I should handle her. But like the minute like you like hold the little girl, you're like, oh my God. I completely underestimated the power of the daddy-daughter relationship, which she then milked for the first 10 to 12 years of her life, much to my joy, because she's my little princess. And then they hit like tweenhood. And in tweenhood, you're not cool anymore. And it's like, man, this sucks. Fortunately, a lot of her friends are actually People's Pundit fans. I mean, her girlfriends. It's amazing. They were like my first followers on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to help a little bit. And then they get mature and they like realize, daddy's like the bomb again. And that's where we're at now. So I'm like super, super, super stoked about it. Oh, shit. Did I miss him? Bro, I totally missed you. Shit, I blew it. I don't know. I must have been on the phone with my daughter or something. Mark Mitchell popped in and then he bounced again. Ah, shit. My bad, dude. Was that was that when I was on the dang phone? Oh, don't worry. Let me see if I can get him back here, guys. Oops. What you gonna do? All right, let's go through and see what else is happening here. Nixon has defeated Alexander Vindman. No trade-off for you. If you bet on Angie Nixon, boy, you made some bank. Holy moly. Look at the Florida House race. Wait a minute. What am I talking about here? Why am I having a total brain fart? Holy crap. Hold on one second. I'm having a brain fart. What the hell? 6th. That's right. Oh, they changed it. That's right. Duh. All right. 6. All right. Here we go. Let's go up. Here we go. Boom. So it looks like Randy Fine did take Flagler back, and that's a wrap. Now, that's a better look. For instance, for comparison, guys, Matt Gaetz would defeat his primary opponents with like 2/3 of the vote. So he's not he's a beatable incumbent. 100% a beatable incumbent. Whoop whoop. Thanks for watching, Patrick. My boy Patrick's watching. You know, it is what it is. No real surprises here. I think the surprise of the night is that Jay Collins did better than Fishback. Oh, hold on, guys. I don't know why that happened, but I certainly cannot put my password in while you guys are sitting there. Why did that happen? Little bug. New system, little bug. All right. Yeah, we're back. And now we're back. Okay. This is the shocker. Will James Fishback get 10% of the vote? I think that's an interesting question. Right now with Byron Donalds getting at least 50 is only 8 cents. I would not buy it. You hear me? If you look at Bay, he's at 43%. That is not going to happen. All right, guys? It is not going to happen. You're better off buying 45% at 96 cents and just getting a small payout. I kid you not. Because that shit ain't going to happen. All right? Boom, bada boom. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, if you spend $100 right now, you can make like 6 cents. I mean, $6. It's a 6% return. You decide what you want to do with your portfolio. But if you're looking for a big swing, this ain't going to be it, guys. Yeah. Dude. For those of you who don't know, boy, thank you, Vance. Vance Surge back. That was never real. Marco Rubio never had a chance to be the Republican nominee. Well, let me put it this way. He doesn't have a chance to be president. Republican primary voter turnout. With 10% left, you're looking at another. Oh boy, guys. If you're at 1.7, you're in some trouble. I got to tell you. Could it happen? Sure. I really don't think so, guys. I mean, it's going to be close. If something is missing, no, these are all in. Orlando, Palm, yeah, these are all in. Manatee still has some vote. Sarasota's done. Charlotte's done. DeSoto's done. No, DeSoto still has some. But those are small counties. Polk, done. Pasco, done. Lake, done. Sumter, done. Marion, not. Collier's done. I'm looking at like where big Republican votes come in. This is bad. If that's all Monroe is with 63%, jeez. Trump used to do better in Liberty than other Republicans. Escambia, 48. He'll probably inch up to close to 50 there. This is kind of, in any other year, it would be fine. Like how Byron won here. Any other year, 24-point margin would be fine. But because he had Trump's endorsement and because they tried to paint challengers as spoilers and paint challengers as, anti-Trump, don't get on board, you stupid anti-Semite. This is a problem because more than half the party in Florida is telling you, I'm not down with this. If it was one challenger against Byron, it would have been a very tight race. A very, very tight race. And they were not able to consolidate. Paul Renner, 8.4 is at. Fishback's only at 10.2. I know. But they're not doing better. I got to tell you, let me just say this. Like, people are going to say, look at how much better we're doing in Florida. Guys, let me break it to you. Let me break this down for you. There was, because I see everybody comparing to 22. Don't even try to compare it to 2024. Otherwise, you will look very stupid. But in 2022, all right, Democrats had a competitive primary on the gubernatorial side between Charlie Crist and Nikki Fried, while Republican Ron DeSantis, he ran totally unopposed. Now, there was some other races, and obviously Republicans wanted to put up or shut up, and they did well. They ended the 2022 primary with a 5.2 advantage in the partisan vote. In other words, the electorate was R plus 5.2. Now, Republicans ended today with roughly a 12-point advantage. And people are like, wow, look at how much better we did. Not really the case. They have a larger registration advantage now than they did in the summer of 2022. What is the difference? In the summer of 2022, Republicans were at about 5.3 million and Democrats were just under 5 million. If you add it up, and you account for the rounding, Republicans had roughly a 670,000 voter advantage, whereas right now, Republicans have the advantage of about 1.6 million, a factor of about 4. Okay? So in other words, Republicans doing a factor of 3 better during a year when there actually is a competitive race, multiple competitive races, right? Against Democrats who really didn't have a competitive gubernatorial race. To do this, let's just wash it and say, forget about the competitive years. Let's just look at the voter registration comparison. A 12, 11 point, that's shy of what we would have expected if we were on par and neutral with 2022. What would we be looking at? About a 15.6 partisan advantage. That would have been the equal, if we're not considering who's got the more competitive primary and who's not, we should have seen Republicans with about a 15.6 percentage point advantage, given how much more registrations they've added in their advantage over Democrats statewide. So in truth, they did underperform against their prior benchmark. It's just true. All right. Now, is it enough for David Jolly to really make a go with this? We'll see where this ends up. But man, I've seen Republicans lose independents in this state and hold on by like R plus 2 and 3 electorates. They're going to have an R plus 11 electorate in 2026. It's going to be closer. I wouldn't be surprised if it was single digits, but I mean low single digits, even maybe 4 points, something like that. But man, they've already lost independents by 40 points in prior special elections in South Florida. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Right now, with 90% in, actually, I mean, that's not that bad. He would have to win independents by like 30 points, though. I'm serious, like 25, 30 points to make a go with this. And for me, it's very difficult for me to see that. That sounds a little bit crazy to me. It does. Now, a 400,000 vote edge, I'm not that impressed. I mean, as far as outward primary turnout, but that's because it should be where is it missing? It's missing in South Florida. It's missing in the more Hispanic areas where Republicans not only won Hispanics, but brought them onto their registration rolls. That's where it's missing. And you can tell from those precincts. So it is what it is. I am curious, though. Florida reports very quick. I am curious to see what else, we got. Boy, these pollings were misses here, though, huh? Woo! And the only real miss was between Fishback and Collins. Like, who had second place? These other polls definitely showed that people largely, the consensus was that Fishback was in second. There was one poll that had Collins. Let me see if I can find it on Real Clear, though. I was pretty sure that there was a governor races. Let me go to Florida. Yeah, I was pretty sure that there were a couple that had Collins ahead of Fishback. Yeah, there were. Qantas did all right here. When did they poll? It was about 2 weeks ago. James Madison did okay. Actually, James Madison is going to be the... Qantas had Donalds at 50. That's not going to happen. He's going to keep getting drugged down. James Madison Institute is going to end up the best poll of the Florida primary. They only had Fishback at 4. I mean, Signal did all right too. Signal had 43, 11, 12. Nah, Collins decisively beat Fishback here. Looking overall, Qantas overstated Byron Donalds' support and his margin by like 10. So far, it's looking like 8 points. They understated Jay Collins' support more than James Madison. James Madison had him at 18. That's pretty good. You know, I mean, it's a primary poll. And they had Fishback at 4, but Fishback is going to continue to fall, I think. I think he's going to he's probably going to fall a little bit more. But I think overall, the better poll on this side, on the right-wing side, is James Madison Institute, which I'm not even, to be honest with you, I'm not even that familiar with. They did a, let me look and just see. Oh, this is Market Site. Yeah, I know this is legit. This is Market Site. 2.62, 1400 was their sample. Let me just look at how they did this. Significant different groups are within A, likely voter, and other. Yeah. And if you looked, you could actually, they did pretty well. Southeast Florida, though, did not vote at the rates compared to some others. Southwest, they had at 13. That's right. Why? Because, I mean, look at Monroe. Tampa Bay, 19. That probably is somewhat right. Central Florida, that's wrong. So as it turned out, Central Florida did come out. Like Collier did decent. But Miami-Dade turnout was actually not good the last time I looked at it. It was like it was like a 14% compared to Collier. That was at like 22, 21. I'm just looking at some of the other things here. Their religious demographics, they looked about right. High school, no college, high school graduate, some high school or no college, associate degree or a 2-year post-secondary, some college but no degree, bachelor's. That's pointless. You should just put some college associates together, but whatever. Income looks good for Republican primary. Black or African American was too much. That's probably what happened here. Hispanic, they had lower than Black. African American, that's a little weird, I guess. And that's weighted. Yeah, it is. That's weighted. That's not right. Listen, Florida is also more female. I don't know why. Their likely voter was significantly more male than their overall. Florida, it is not at all uncommon for it to be 46% male, 54% female. That's not at all uncommon. What's he at Bay now? Nah, that's not good enough. As you can see, Bay's really got a lot of, this bigger vote getter here. He got Escambia's, which he did well in, but it's now 93% in. Jackson Collins is actually winning. No surprise there. Liberty, he did win. Wow. Fishback just didn't, again, Florida's probably the worst place when you have a Republican primary. Ooh, that's a good point. I just got a text from my buddy, and he said women live longer. It's probably from older people, and that's probably true.
Oh, Momwood. Why would that be for Momwood?
You know what? Actually, since it was connected. Yep, that's me from the show. Yeah, I don't see him creeping back up to 50. That would be Herculean at this point. It's just there's where he was doing exceedingly well. It's just not there. In Monroe, man, look at that. See, so when they had Monroe significantly less, they weren't kidding. But either way, it didn't matter. I mean, you could look at it earlier today when the vote was coming in hour by hour. Florida's great like that. You could actually see the turnout adjustments, and some of these areas were just not good enough. Polk is pathetic. I'm sorry. Not that their turnout. I'm talking about Byron's performance there was just not good. Hillsborough was decent. Once upon a time, bellwether of Hillsborough. Pinellas, Fishback got about 10%. I don't know where Fishback is getting this vote from. Keeps going up. I don't know where it's coming from, though, to be honest with you. There we go. Wakula is now done, though. He's not even in the top 3 and anywhere over here. Yeah, watch your personal connection to campaigns. Bakery did well in. You got to watch your, I understand pollsters, you got favorites, everybody does. You got to watch your personal connections when you're doing campaigns, guys. It's it'll get you every time. You'll see what you want to see, Okay, sorry, I'm just answering family stuff. Okay, so let's get back to it here. Let's start answering some stars, shall we? Let's do it. Nixon winning on the Dem side. Yeah, no, some of this is going to be late to the game here. Yes, Nixon did defeat Alexander Vindman, which I will show you right now. I'm not going to go jump out in front of something, but it looked pretty clear and decisive to me. Vindman was winning only the white liberal areas like Monroe. He was winning like older Democratic whites and educated whites. He got his ass kicked in like Miami-Dade, over in Duval, even in Gadsden and Wakula and Leon. He just got crushed. So it's not enough. Like Collier, what did he do here? He got some votes of some people who used to be Republicans, but changed over now. They voted for Mitt Romney in there. They have sand in there. You know what? Because Donald Trump is running the Republican Party now, and boo hoo hoo. He's a friggin' traitor, this dude, and nothing gives me more pleasure than to watch this guy go down. It's hilarious. Like, he's a chump. I can't stand him. He's an opportunist at his worst. He's also a betrayer of his oath. He should never hold another political or federal job or, anything in government ever again. He's basically a dual loyal piece of shit. I'm so tired of this dual loyalty shit. If you're loyal to Ukraine, Alex, then move to fucking Kiev. Okay? I'm so tired of this. So I'm glad there was this upset and he got whacked. So there, yeah, while I'm answering that, new cynic, new member, thank you. Oh, you gifting stuff? Oh, man, thank you. KC98, member for 3 months, gave me some stars here. Thank you. 10 jewels from John Buchanan, but you're hiding. Yeah, I think I know what that was in comment to. Yeah, that's terrible. And KC, thank you for gifting that membership. I never looked into it. When you gift a membership, like, what does it actually mean? I have no idea, but by the way, yeah, this is great. I don't know. Do you hand it out to somebody? Does it like first come, first serve? How the hell does this work? I don't know. By the way, nice audience size, slamming it. Towards an ice cream cone for Ro. Oh, you know what, Roman?
What?
Somebody gave Daddy a super chat on YouTube, and they said I should put it towards an ice cream cone for you one day. So they basically gave me a super chat to get you an ice cream cone. Don't you want to say thank you?
Oh, yeah.
Come over here and say thank you. Come say it in the microphone, boy. Say thank you.
Thank you for that, whoever's cynic.
Here you go.
Cynic, I really love ice cream.
I really love ice cream. Who doesn't? Bring it on, Mark Mitchell. Yeah, I just threw you in the crowd like that, brother.
Nice. It's all right. I wasn't doing anything bad.
What do you think the interesting stuff is here of tonight? Outside of the governor's race, Alexander Vindman goes down. That's hilarious. Randy Fine's totally beatable with a serious candidate. I think that's that's clear. What else? What do you think? Or you want to talk about the governor's race? What are your thoughts? But
Well, so if you look at the Fine race, Looks like he's going to get about, I don't know, with the last look, I think was 60% of the vote, right?
Yeah, roughly 50. He's at like 58 or 59. Whereas like Matt Gaetz would win with like 66, 67, you know?
Yeah, I think that's like roughly equivalent to the percent of Republicans in Florida who support Israel.
You think so? In that part of Florida, probably. You know,
100%.
Yeah, in that part of Florida. Because in Flagler, I'm actually surprised Dan's performance in Flagler in the beginning, that early vote drop was ugly for Fine. That was like, oh my God. And then, you know, the Trump election day old people vote came in and gave Fine the lead, you know?
So that's the like craziest thing to me is that last time I looked, it looks like it's going to be over a 1.8 million vote Republican turnout, which from a total vote count looks like it would crush 2018 and 2020. Now, from a percentage perspective, I'm not so sure. It's
I don't
probably
think we are going to hit that, by the way.
Yeah.
We're not. We're going to get to like 165 probably.
Okay, so it'll be like a 28, 29% turnout instead of 31, 32.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the trend so far, in my opinion, has been Republicans just underperforming in the primary turnouts. So I guess that tells you that like Florida still is really much like Trump country, to the extent that there exists one still in America. And you know, what's also wild to me is that Donalds doesn't look like he's going to get over 50% for a guy that got 7 Trump endorsements and had all the money of God. You know, like it's just not.
I honestly think this is pretty humiliating for Byron tonight. Now, I know the story is going to be about this pollster and that pollster, but brother, this guy should have won with 60% plus.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham did better than him, you know?
Oh my God. It's so true. Because at least some people know where the hell Lindsey Graham stands.
I guess I should tweet that, huh?
Listen, I like Byron. I like him as a dude. Okay. It's just, he didn't really show to be himself. Like, what kind of man are you, bro? Like, you know, we know you, but the people of Florida, clearly the Republican primary voter of Florida, you like any other year, this would have been an okay performance, but it's not, because look what he did. He ran like a bitch from his primary opponents. Let's be real. And I like you, Byron. So you know I'm going to straight talk with you, bro. You ran like a bitch, and then you called everybody who disagreed with you because you thought every voter should give you the Trump treatment. You ran from them and then called everybody an anti-Semite. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you did, bro. You punked out. It was a bitch move, bro. It was a bitch move. And now you're going to be scraping for their support because David Jolly's only going to be about 400,000 votes behind you. Since you're going to get crushed with independents by like 30 points, 20 points at least, this is going to be a closer race than it should be. Now, I think he's going to win. It's just, it shouldn't be this close. Like, people shouldn't have to give Byron as much money as they're going to have to give him because of how he played this in the primary. It's a republic. It's a red state now, bro. Like, come on. You know, like, this is a waste of money now. People have to go throw at Byron because he did this shit. Thanks, Byron. Like, fucking wasted all these resources. It's ridiculous, man. I'm sorry. You know, like,
every data point we see reaffirms in my mind that 2024 was an astoundingly high watermark.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's it.
And that, which isn't, honestly, here's what Republicans didn't understand. And I don't know if you saw the clip that Grace clipped and put up, and then it went on Alex Jones today. One of the things that I said in it was like a reality drop for people, bro. Like, they acted like they had a 10-point popular vote victory, like Obama almost. Obama had not 10 points, but he had a solid victory. He had coalition to burn. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could afford to piss off some people in his coalition. Trump won by less than 2 points, and Republicans underperformed him in key battleground areas. So I don't understand why they walked around like they're shitting it and stink, like they were swinging the big D and they had 5 points to burn off. You don't have a big deal D, bro. You beat a guy who wasn't a guy. He didn't even have a D. You have like a 3-inch. You had a less than 2-inch D, bro. You were just the only one in the race with a D. And they just didn't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that solid. The coalition was always like a loosely knitted coalition, and you had to constantly nurture it. And what they decided to do was get really rough with it and decide that, you know, they're just going to act like They're the second coming, and they can do no wrong. And that was a massive mistake. Like, look at Miami-Dade, where Byron did the best. Okay. 57. Actually, I think he did better in Broward after all the votes were said and done. But I'll go there too, because Broward tells the same story. You're looking at like 70-something thousand votes. In Palm Beach, right? You're looking at what's that, 50, 60, 68,000, something like that ballpark. This is where Byron did the best, and it's the more non-white parts of the Republican coalition, and the turnout was terrible. I mean, I know people are like, look at this turnout. Guys, I'm going to say this again real quick, just for comparison. In 2022, when Ron DeSantis won and won overwhelmingly in the primary, they had a bout, and it's roughly, but they had a 4 or 5. What was it? Let me just look. They had about a 4.5 point edge in 22. 5. All right. So, yeah, ballpark. But they only had a voter registration advantage of about 400,000 votes. That's it. Party registration edge was about 400K. Now, in 2026, as of August 11th, which was the last time the state updated, they had almost a 1.6 million registration advantage. So they went in today with an 11.2% voter advantage. And like, yeah, look at how good we did. We flexed. Yeah, if you simply just compare the registration edges and forget about who had a competitive primary and who didn't, because in 22, Republicans didn't even have a competitive primary. You'd still be needing more like a 15.6 percentage point turnout to be on par of where you were with 22. And that's just true. So
I don't even think the major, and I might be totally off on this, I don't even think the major like voter roll cleanup efforts and post-COVID moving to Florida efforts had really like completely peaked by the 2022 election.
Absolutely true. That's another good point. Because I'm sorry, I'm over here eating true fruit.
No, that's fine. Keep me up. They can watch me drinking a beer. So
I mean, but it's true. I mean, that's a really good point. It wasn't all baked in by then, and now it is well baked into it. So I'm not impressed, bro. I'm not impressed, and I don't think again Byron's going to lose this race, and if he is, the Republicans are in such trouble. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think what we're looking at is likely like a single digit race somewhere in the neighborhood of like 4 or 5 points. I've seen David Jolly as close as like 2, so I mean, I don't know that I totally buy that, but so the best pollster of tonight ended up being somebody who's not really that well known, James Madison Institute, which gave, Donalds 49.
Yeah. Nobody was off that much though. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
I mean, like, the big surprise is how good
Collins did. Yeah. I mean, it was like, that's why I'm giving it, but them and Qantas actually had Collins doing better than Fishback. The problem with Qantas is they overstated Donalds and understated Collins. So that's what made their margin off. And they overstated Fishback, and we'll see though, actually, we'll see what happens.
I'd be happy if those were my results, to be honest with you.
Me too. It was 50, 16, 12. That's not terrible. I'm just saying that James Madison is going to edge him out, because James Madison was 49, 18, 4. So that's actually a much closer reflection of the true dynamic of the race. It's just that, it's like the difference between plus 34 and plus 31. It's not that different, guys. Signal was all right, but they had Fishback ahead of Collins. Change, they had Collins ahead of Fishback. They did, but they had Byron way low, 37, 14, 12, 2. Actually, though, I'd still be happy with that too, because you'll just easily say, look, when the undecideds broke, allocated correctly, my margin was actually closer. And that's true. It is Donald's plus 23. And currently we're at Donald's plus 23. So technically Signal didn't do that terrible. But just like vote margin was good. Vote share, not so much,
Florida better than me and I specifically what's been going on there with this race. This Collins overperformance, is this a enthusiasm in Ron DeSantis?
Yeah, I think that there is it's also part of, like, if you go and look at Fishback's support in these polls, people still aren't realizing like that's just not who votes in a Florida Republican primary. It's just not, and I think a lot of people, not a lot, a few people got like invested in this race. And I think I
Well,
don't have
dude,
to say
yeah.
anything, but we know some people got invested, and you guys, pollsters, you really have to guard against like your personal desires in this race. And because you can see things places that really aren't there, that you're convincing yourself you see because you want to see them. And look, you have to be careful with that. So learn from that and move on. But I really just think that this was going to be, if Byron Donalds was not going to get 60%, it was always much, much more likely that Collins would be the benefactor of that, because there is that kind of DeSantis Republican still hanging out there,
Status quo, comfortable, mature.
Yes. Yeah. Like they're not, and Ron, I'm not bashing you, bro. I'm just saying, like, they're kind of like those Mitt Romney voters too. They just didn't go to Alexander Vindman because they switched their Democratic registration to like full-blown TDS idiot Democrats. Like, they're not those people, but they are not MAGA anymore like that. And there are probably some people who don't like Fishback and probably didn't like some of the things they heard about Fishback, but they weren't going to vote for Byron because of how Byron conducted himself. So Collins got the benefit of that because they were like, okay, this is more like a DeSantis mold Republican, so I'm going to vote for him. I think Collins deserves a lot of credit here tonight, man. He's going to get 25 almost % of the vote, and that's really something. That's something.
I think it's a signal to say that in this kind of setting, when the diehard Republicans have to pick the future of the party, that there's still about half of them that will just do whatever Trump says. And yet there's this other group that doesn't necessarily want like this idea of a provocative outsider who's going to run on policies that are very atypical, but not have the maturity or competence to govern. I think I think what we're going to look at, and what you brought up, and I said, I just had a 3-hour interview today with a leftist. And it was kind of interesting. On some things we talked past each other, but we had a lot in common. And she spent a lot of time talking about ICE. And this is something we've talked about as well. And it's like, okay, America did want mass deportation. Now she thought, well, it's because they were tricked into thinking all of the illegals were like actually violent criminals. It's like maybe some, but not all. No, they just wanted these people gone because of rule of law and the economic reasons. And then it's like, okay, Trump's tactics created polling blowback. People were supporting the anti-ICE protesters. There was an increase in support for sanctuary cities, and yet people still wanted mass deportations. And we both talked about how, well, like, Trump's going about this the wrong way. It needs to be more systemic. It needs to be more humane. And I think the problem is that it's like Trump 2016 had a 0 bar, and people expected an outsider to be provocative. Trump 2024 campaign looked really good in compared to Biden and Harris.
Yeah.
And people were upset it was a referendum on Biden. 2024 Trump needed to govern like a mature adult. I think in retrospect, and what we have is a pump real presidency. We have like, Department of War. We have busting down doors. And it's like
CNL skit, bro. A CNL skit. Have you seen SNL? Excuse me. Have you seen what SNL has done? I mean, it's easy and funny again for once, from after many years of just not being funny. It is, because you're right. That is what they're doing. It's like, FAFO, bro. Just bump. And it's just like, oh my. And they're not doing it. They're not doing what people wanted them to do. So
the best thing they could have done is got in, acted mature, talked like nationalists, and executed Project 2025 or whatever, right? Like, it's been haphazard. It's been less coherent than the first Trump administration. And I went on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'll probably never get invited back, but they're like, well, we've been at every Trump rally, and it's like, bro, there's really not going to be any more of those.
Well,
I mean? So I don't know. I mean, again, I don't look at Byron Donalds' performance and say like he represents the future of the Republican Party. And yet it also still says that Trump is going to rule over the ash heap here. Like that is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Because I think that it's not, especially in Florida, it's not going away. So I'm talking about like this grip he's got on the party. It's weakened, but it's not going away. And that leaves like Randy Fine wins and Byron Donald underperforms. You know what I mean? So it leaves the party with this diminished coalition and no hope to change it in the near future. And I gotta tell you, because I had pissed off a lot of our friends.
One more thing though, Rich. Let's acknowledge before you go on.
Go ahead.
Balzerian beat Fishback.
Wait a minute. Say it. Say it again. Dan, you mean? Dan beat Fishback?
Yeah, he outperformed Fishback.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and do you find that like weird at all? I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems a little weird to me, but it just comes down to me, guys. It comes down to this. I don't know why you expected 15% of a Republican primary to be 18 to 29 years old. Like, I don't understand that. It looks like we're going to end up again. Because I think it confuses them. We're at less than 1.6. It didn't even get to 1.65. Oh my God, guys, it's 95% in, and it's going to be tough to get to 1.65. I mean, I'm looking at Okaloosa still out. Jackson's still out. Holmes is still out. It probably will get to 1.65, but you're looking at, okay, who made up that 1.65? And I just don't think at this point, I really don't.
All y'all Fishback voters.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what I'm thinking here?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that like this was not exactly it wasn't what people expected. Like, they're not holding on to the new MAGA part of the coalition. And I looked at these polls and I could see that they absolutely, a lot of these people were, they were like thinking, oh, okay, let's model it like this. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, are you nuts? Like, that's not going to happen. And now here we are. And it looks good because they're looking at it from a year-to-year comparison, but they don't realize that Republicans have made such huge gains over 4 years with registration growth. So it's not everybody. It's not even close to everybody. I mean, if they did, let's say they got to 1.7. Guys, you're still talking about 1.7 out of a state that routinely votes 12 plus million. And it's like, who out of that 1.7 actually came out? It is not the voters in the coalition that made MAGA a 13-point win in Florida. It's not. Sorry. And there's a lot of, I'm thinking about this Hispanic woman who was in Miami-Dade, and she was like, I'm not really a Republican. We interviewed her. She was like 26 years old. And in any event, she was like, some of my friends and family are kind of mad at me because I changed my registration to Republican, but I'm not really a Republican. I'm just because I want to vote for Donald Trump in the primary. And then like later we interviewed her for the one poll we did for the 24 general, and that was the one we got like a Trump plus 13. And she was like voting for Trump and happy to do it, but still like not liking Republicans. And I'm thinking about it right now, Mark, because I'm thinking there's no way that girl voted in the primary, and I'm actually going to check. I'll check like in a month from now when it updates on the voter file. It'll probably update before then, but I'll check and see. I almost can guarantee, brother, like this girl did not vote. You know what I mean? Like she either didn't vote or she changed her registration a long time ago and went back to being an independent. And that's the problem. That's the voter Republicans are going to have a problem with. And it may not be enough to do them in Florida, but there are voters like that everywhere. And you don't have 13 points to mess with in other states. So, it's like they got this huge padding in Florida that they just don't have everywhere else, bro. Look at Texas.
I mean, Florida's not going to be competitive. It's just not going to be as egregiously red as it was. But did you see the New York Times Siena thing that Harry Enton was pushing?
That Trump was like underwater how many points in Florida's and bunch everywhere other states?
No, it was like Texas underwater 9.
Yeah, he was underwater in Florida too. It was like North Carolina 11, Florida 9, Texas 9, or maybe it was like Florida 8, Texas 9. Which I can't believe anyway, because Texas is more swingy. I think Texas is more swingy than Florida. I do.
Yeah, the Hispanics, 100%.
They're
not happy with the way ICE worked.
Yeah, I mean, and the ones who aren't happy live in Texas more than in Florida. Like, because you have some of those Venezuelan and Cuban Hispanics are just like, throw them the fuck out. You know, these are hardcore.
right.
You know, they're like, man, my family paddled here on a fucking boat and on a tire and had to wait 10 years for a green card. They promised me 10 years before that. You know, like they don't like the border jumpers, man. They don't, you know, and it's funny. Yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know. There's some what's out there. The turnout bets are still good right now. Look at no surging because I mean, again, Laura's gonna kill me because I don't take the second to like bet my own bets and then I say something openly on a show with 3,000 people watching live, and then it jumps from 20% on no to 40.
Run yourself,
yeah,
nice.
Fuck myself. Of course I did, and again, and now she's gonna rewatch this later tonight, and she's gonna be like, slap. No, don't worry, honey. I'll get mine in the end. Yeah, Byron was expected to lose some of these panhandle Big Ben, I would say, not panhandle, but some Big Ben counties. Yes, because of backyards. I don't think it's fair to say he was expected to lose like Liberty and Jackson. Maybe not like that. But like, you know, some of the Jefferson, Madison, where he is losing, you kind of do expect that. You know, backyards matter, and maybe it's just, you know, we'll see. There's Calhoun still has 44% in, so we'll see. But Collins and then Collins wins Hardy down in he's just 101 votes ahead right now, and maybe that'll change with the last dump. But he's got this like one little pocket in southwestern or south central, you know, or west, you know, central in the west, you know, outside of the Tampa Bay area, a little south Tampa Bay area.
So like Donalds did better near Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
And Collins did better near Tallahassee.
Yes. 100%. We're now at 1.625, guys. So yeah, I mean, it'll be close on whether they get to 1.7. Very, very close. The problem is their big vote getting areas are basically done. Bay County is in now. Not basically, it is. Escambia is in. Bay County's in. Marion is probably the biggest vote getter out. Look at Mar-a-Lago. It's done. He crushed 57.8. Palm Beach 58.9. Broward, Indian River. This is all done though. You know, so he's got no chance to get to 50. No, that's probably an old comment. But it does look like Marion County is the biggest vote getter still outstanding. And boy, he did really terrible in Alachua County, which is where Gainesville is. But outside of Gainesville, there's like this red wall. They call it the red wall outside of Gainesville. And I just thought he would have done better than that. I really did. But you know why? Because who's in Alachua versus who's in like Miami-Dade and Palm Beach? Like he did better in the more non-white areas, but they didn't turn out as heavy as they needed to turn out. Like if Byron would have ran with the 24 coalition together and intact, Byron would have crushed. You know what I'm saying? But because these guys aren't there and it's more older and whiter, he didn't. Well,
that's what I was trying to see. So it looks like the villages.
Yeah.
Look at between Marion, Lake, and Sumter.
Yes.
And Donalds did not do that great there.
He did.
You know what I mean, like
Lake is like the heart of it, and he got 45.2%. And even in Marion, where Ocala is, that's horse country. This is supposed to be Trump country. He's just below 41%. That's ass, bro. That's ass. And I can tell you why that is. I don't want to spit any names out, but like friends, family, and they're older. This is where they live, you know, and they are not happy at all. They're on a fixed income. The cost of living, he's done nothing about. No matter what you want to say, guys, about maybe 1 month of a CPI doing better, producer inflation, it was horrible. Wholesale inflation was horrible. Gas, you know, and they did not change their registration from like a lot of these older white Democrats who changed their registration from Democrat to Republican, even though many of them had been voting Republican at the federal presidential level anyway. Maybe Bill Nelson, he still got their vote. They did not change their registration for another war in the Middle East. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's it. And
we both tried to stop it.
We did. And here we are. And now they're forced to share analysis that isn't novel pretending like, I don't know, I'm sure you saw it today. Well, see, it's always a summer lull with polling for us in the Senate. First of all, Sherrod Brown, for instance, is far outside of the average era. For if you look up the last 4 cycles of Senate polling overstating Democrats in states like Ohio, yeah, by about 4 points. Well, Sherrod Brown's outside of that. Even factoring that in, Sherrod Brown still wins by 3.5. Secondly, there's never been a summer lull in our polling, and you know this. I was telling JD all through his campaign, don't listen to your own pollster. Don't listen to USA Today. Don't listen to all these other people. Tim is not up on you. You're winning. You're going to win. It's closer than it will be right now, but that's just because we're waiting on people to break and say they're going to vote, and they're decided, and they're going to vote for you. Come September, you'll be fine. Don't worry. But he was never down. Yeah. Those polls weren't right. You know what I'm saying? Like in our poll, he was always up. We never, dude, I don't know actually I do. The last time we had a Democrat leading in a U.S. Senate race in Ohio was when Josh Mandel left the race because his wife made him leave the race in 2018. And Jim Renacci tried to take his spot. And Jim's a nice guy, but he just had no mojo, no juice. He was a textbook Republican establishment dude, like a textbook Republican. He got crushed. Sherrod Brown beat him. And that was the last time we had a Democrat leading in our poll in Ohio. Went from being Mandel +7 to Brown +5 because it was just a shakeup in the candidates. And now here we have John Husted, the epitome of the Epstein class rhino Republican, running against Sherrod Brown, the strongest Democratic candidate you could run for Senate in the state. It's just like stupidity. And then Vivek, who, you know, I personally like, but boy, that guy is he's the terrible candidate, Mark. He's just it's not going well. Yeah. So Patrick, I'll comment on you in a second, Patrick. What I mean,
that's right. He's in some ways was very astute to piggyback off of MAGA and suck up to Trump in the 24 primaries. But at the end of the day, like some of his core beliefs are very traditional Republican, and they're like on the way out. It's like the magic dirt stuff is not going to win with the younger Republicans anymore.
No.
And, you know, I'm sorry, but that's just, it is what it is. I got to bounce in a couple minutes for a show, but I did basically want to point out that I think we both warned Trump this very specific thing. And again, I don't want to predict exactly what's going to happen in the midterms. I think it's fair to say that barring some kind of surprise Republican overperformance in the polling, the Democrats will pick up both houses.
Yeah.
Which means that objectively, in most ways that matter, the Trump agenda is dead.
It's over.
So we both predicted that this would happen. And it's not because, in my opinion, and we've talked about this, that Trump hasn't been able to magically fix all the problems. That's not what happened here.
Yeah.
Trump was very good. He was the right man to do what he did in 2016, which is blow up the establishment and change politics in D.C. But in 2024, what America needed was an economic wartime president.
Yeah.
And that means somebody who governs with single-minded focus and maturity.
Yeah.
And it's not that they want the results. They want to know why you're doing it so that they can understand that continuing to support you means that there is a future down that path.
Yes.
And Trump just doesn't have that at all. He's not that guy to do it. And what that means is that you can't claim victory because none of the polling metrics have gotten better about prices or the future of America. Everybody's still feeling it. So if you tell them, you're gaslighting them, and that's lying. And it's the same as what Joe Biden was doing. And so we're in this cycle where Republicans basically need to acknowledge the failures of capitalism, and they're not. And
their fake form, their fake idea of capitalism. It's not even real capitalism. They're like they're worshiping at this altar of fake capitalism, you know, which is something Matt Gaetz and I were talking about privately, like this idea that because I see them calling you a socialist on X because you're saying like this. Listen, you have to understand that if you argue with them on healthcare, by the way, and you're not prepared at all to fix the problems of high premiums, deductible, all of this. And why is our insurance industry like that? Even before Obamacare, it's because of fake capitalism. It's not real capitalism. These are lobbies that get their way and they get protections and price controls. Basically, that's effectively what they are, for that favor them, not the consumer. And I saw you right. Like, look, if you're going to try to argue with Democrats on healthcare with this position, guess what? Socialism wins. And they were like, oh, look at this. So you want us to be a socialist? That's what you want us to be. And I'm just like, they are just dense.
Well, what's funny too is having talked to these people is that like this particular person admitted, Gina Bonanno admitted that no, the DSA are not real socialists. She knows that. And that not only that, she isn't a socialist and doesn't want real socialism. She just wants government programs that work, and she thinks the profit motive is ruining things. And it's like, okay, you're right. She pointed to Japan and says, look, a developed country, similar technology, has a great free healthcare program. And what my response to her was, well, why does it work over there? Nationalism, right? You know what I mean? But like, you know, like there's something to work with here, because the Republican fixation on capitalism is just as bad, stupid, and wrong as the Democrat fixation on socialism, because both of them are pursuing something that's very fake. And you know who knew this kind of stuff was Teddy Roosevelt, who actually was a financial progressive, but inherited a situation very similar to what we have today. We are in a gilded age, no different than what we had through the 80s and 90s, 1880s and 90s. And you know what they were smart enough back then to know is that the problem was monopolies. There were popular songs about busting up monopolies, and people were trying to vote for people to get into office to do this kind of stuff. And it's like,
yes,
the first person we fired was the one going after the monopolies.
Brother,
so this is the problem.
Brother, for years in the history of the Republican Party, and I know you got to go on, I'll just say this real quick. People have been acting like there has never been a threat of socialism before. Socialists and socialist wings of the Democratic Party, even William Jennings Bryan kind of wing, have been running in this country for decades and decades and decades and decades. Even Coolidge and Hoover paid homage to the concept and head nodded the idea that what we're arguing, that if you do not address basic needs of people, and sometimes that means you can't be defending socialism capitalism all the time. If you don't address it, guess what? People will pick the people that they think will address it, and that could mean a socialist. They just took the threat more seriously. And even Tucker brought this up, even though I'm fairly certain he got this from a text message. But Hoover was like a turkey in every fridge or something like that. It was like, you know,
in every pot. 100%.
A turkey in every pot. Thank you. A turkey in every pot. Thank you.
There are two Republicans on Mount Rushmore. One of them is Abraham Lincoln. The other is a Republican that supported massive confiscation of wealthy, like, you know what I mean? He's there for a reason.
Who Trump loves, folks. The Roosevelt Room, if you go to the White House under Joe Biden or Barack Obama, the Roosevelt Room will be filled with Franklin Delano Roosevelt memorabilia. Every time Trump gets in the White House, it's a beautiful thing. They rip it all out, and it's all Teddy. And I've had
he's so far.
You've seen it.
Roosevelt.
I know, but I'm sure you got it too. Like I was very lucky to get a personal walk through it. But
no, I didn't see it. Yeah.
He will tell you how much he admires Teddy Roosevelt. You know, like I rip out that FDR son of a bitch and I put in Teddy. This is the real Roosevelt, you know, and he is hilarious.
Meanwhile, both of them were responsible for the best part of America. You know what I mean? It's like, and they're both financial progressives. You can't even make this stuff up.
You can't make this shit up. But even FDR, like he didn't even believe in public sector unions, but he caved to certain things because he was afraid of movements like, you know, just completely coming in and tearing out the heart of America.
Oh, I literally have to go.
Go ahead.
All right, it's been fun, Rich.
Mark Mitchell, everybody, go follow
if you're still here.
All right, brother.
Help me with the YouTube channel. At Honest Poll. We got to rebuild from scratch. So
at Honest Poll, and I'll come on, bro. Let me know when you're going to do a stream if you need me. I'll come on.
Yeah, maybe next week. I'd love it.
All right, sounds good.
Be my first stream.
Mark Mitchell, everybody, go follow him on YouTube and on X at Honest Poll on both. All right. So, yep, it's simple, super easy. See you later, brother. Yeah, go check him out because he's got it. Yeah, like you said, he's got to start from scratch now. So yeah, hi Rich. I saw Alex Jones commented on your interview with, quite frankly, on his show. Yeah, this
Will, because I'm going to come after him. I'm not going to do softball.
Don't worry, Tom.
There it is. Yeah, he did. And then he's like, hey, I don't know, this gets funny because yes, you are absolutely correct. I have done stuff for Alex, which is just hilarious. But actually, people were like, dude, you weren't in your 3-piece. Dude, you lost 25 pounds, which I did. Like, bro, he follows me on X. Like, he's got to know who the people's am I that different that you can't recognize the people's pundit? Come on now. Let's see what this. Here's a small token of my appreciation from a native North Carolinian. Buy something to ease the diss from Alex Jones. I know. What the fuck was that, dude? I laughed my ass off at it, but I still was just happy that Frank's got a great show, and quite frankly, and I was happy that one of those clips just went nuts like that. It was great. It's crazy that Monty Fritz in Tennessee did way better than Fishback is doing. And Monty was running with $350K raised against $35 million against him. I hadn't looked at that. That's interesting, though, man. Let's go check it out. Tennessee, where are you? Where are you? I don't know why it's not in DDHQ picks at all, even from prior. I mean, I'd have to go and check it out because, of course, in the vault. But I will. And I'll take your word for it for right now because it's not in my mind at the moment. But Wyoming doesn't close until way late. Alaska, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we'll do an Inside the Numbers recapping it. We just can't do it. Wyoming, and it's funny, Mark was saying, there's one, Florida is still, if like there's any Trump stuff, around Trump country left, it was Florida. Wyoming is the most Trumpy state. And then when you're talking about like competitive, once upon a time, fringe competitive, of course, Florida used to be razor thin. I think out of all of these states that get headline bearing states, Florida is still probably the most Trumpy out of all of them. But it's weird. You can tell just by what we said before. You have Byron Donalds winning, but underperforming. And then you have Randy Fine winning. Even though, again, Randy didn't really have, you gotta applaud Dan and others who give it a shot, even though I don't think that was like the best person to run against Randy Fine. I think it's very, very clear that Randy Fine is easily beatable in a Republican primary with a legitimate Republican primary challenger, a legitimate America First challenger. And guys, he never really had any support when he got the nomination. He ran 20 points behind Donald Trump in that district. I mean, you expect to run behind Donald Trump. Nobody's going to run as strong as Trump, especially in these key districts that really tell us a lot about stuff. But 20-point deficit, less than a year after Donald Trump's elected, that's pathetic. Randy, I ran 20 points behind Donald Trump, but it's just fine. What a fat ass. Can't stand the guy at all. By the way, he committed a federal crime by going through that woman's mailbox. Tampering with somebody's mail or even trying to place something in somebody's mailbox outside of the postal service is a federal offense. I hate to tell everybody. I don't know if you know that or not, campaigners. Political people get away with a lot, but you're supposed to go through the post office, and that includes if you want to just like mail something to somebody. Tampering with their mailbox is a federal offense. That's what the postal service is for. For a congressman to be on the front of somebody's porch going through their mailbox is an outrage. And this is a guy who once voted for somebody outside of norms and rules. It shows you his judgment is terrible. Did you see Trump's post on Truth today with Lindsey Graham wearing a Make Iran Great Again hat? How does he think that was a good idea? Make it stop. Now we know a lot of Trump's True Social is not run by him. Natalie does run a lot of it. By the way, Natalie is a sweetheart. John Ossoff going after her was just a low blow. He's been on point. His message has been crisp, clear, very articulate, very polished. That was a low blow and a lose for Ossoff. He should not have done that. There's these rumors out there that are not substantiated. To take a shot at somebody like Natalie like that is just disgusting. And I know her. She's a sweetheart, and that is just wrong. Okay. But anyway. Let's see. What's with the whole Besson Japan Ponzi scheme? I don't know yet, Steven. I'll check it out. I don't know that yet. But I just, outside of what I saw briefly on X, but I don't know enough about it to really say something, to give you an honest answer to that. But let me just say this. Can we please be done hearing about Alexander Vindman now? Now that he's been humiliated and he lost unexpectedly, can he go? I heard Ukraine offered him a job as like what is essentially their Department of Defense. Like he's going to be like their defense secretary. Don't you want to do that now, Alex? Or are you afraid that you're going to get hung like your buddy when Putin comes and routes you out of Kiev because you're losing? Okay. As soon as all of the old guys and young women are killed, now that you went through the entire population of Ukraine, as soon as you bled out the elderly and the female, you afraid they're going to come and get you? And like, that's not, like potentially providing future advancement opportunities in that field. I thought he was going to win, bro. You don't feel comfortable accepting that offer from Vladimir Zelensky? You don't want to go spend the rest of your years in Kiev snorting lines with your homeboy? Bro, just get lost. You should, honestly, Andrew Vindman should be in a hole somewhere. He's a traitor. And he's with the transcript that led to impeachment. Vindman should be in a hole right now, going mad, because that's what happens to human beings who are locked in solitary in the dark for years and years because they're traitors, and that's the treatment they deserve. If I was Trump, I would have rounded his ass up already and threw him in a dark hole somewhere.
Don't.
Yep, he deserves it. And you're lucky my little son's here. Otherwise, I would have used filthy language. How we doing over there, cutie? You're happy?
Yeah, even when I'm not by myself.
Well, I'm here with you. You're not by yourself. Hey, Rich, not a member yet, but do you think I'm safe to put another 200 on Dems winning both the House and the Senate? Look, the Senate is a little bit more in flux, but here's the thing. Alaska is not looking good. For all the people who think it's like funny or something that Peltola is having a shakeup in her campaign, Peltola is ahead. It could all come down and hinge on Alaska. Ohio, I just don't see it. Can Hinson hold on if Sherrod Brown, because like Tarek is not Sherrod Brown. And then Paxton in Texas, because they're trying to sabotage Ken Paxton so they can throw money at someone who makes them more comfortable. I forgot to tell you guys this, but Fox News, you can't trust them when they come out with like a Mike Rogers +4. You can't trust them. I'm telling you, the day they did that, I saw Democrat internal polling that had El Sayed up by 6. I myself, immediately after the Democratic primary, which the Republican primary was the same night, I myself polled Michigan, and my poll looked more like the Democratic poll from the firm that conducted a committee that polls and supports Democratic Senate race. I know the polling firm. He's very good. He's a Democrat, but he's actually very good. What I think is the same reason why you saw them change their power rankings. And if you don't know what happened, they moved Texas from leans Republican to toss-up, and they moved Michigan from leans Democrat to toss-up. So that left Democrats and Republicans each with 47 seats. I'm going to say this again. Murdoch Inc. cannot be trusted. They are doing that along with their poll. Guys, Sherrod Brown's up by 8, but Mike Rogers is up by 4. Do you think in any world that's going to happen? Because if you do, then you know nothing about politics. It's just not going to happen. Sherrod Brown could be up by 3.5, and maybe Mike Rogers ekes it out. But his hill to climb is extremely steep. And I will tell you what I saw in the Democratic polling. Do I still have it up here right now? Okay. They both were only losing about 3% crossover support, but Mike Rogers had about 2 points more of his party. Where was the rest of El Sayed's party? It was in undecided. It reminded me of Mayorkas versus Jay Jones, and a lot of people had Mayorkas up, and I was telling them go back in the field because those undecideds, those Democrats, they're not really undecided, and they're breaking for Jay Jones. They will, and in the end, they will vote for Jay Jones. And thanks to me, a few people did, and they were not humiliated. Also, the governor's race was way, it was a blowout. It was not single-digit lead for Spanberger, 3 + 4 + 3, like a lot of these pollsters had it. And if I didn't tell them to go back in the field, they would have looked ridiculous. But the independent vote was El Sayed +10. If you look at the write-up, the Democratic pollster wrote, he said, typically this state is about even when it comes to turnout. The Fox poll is modeled extremely Republican. It's more Republican than the electorate Donald Trump had in Michigan. I'm serious. The Rogers +4 is modeled more Republican friendly than even Trump had in 24. And oh, by the way, Rogers had in 24 when he failed to close the deal, even though Donald Trump was on the ballot. The race was very close, but he went down. And Trump even outperformed him in places like Oakland with affluent suburbs. He also outperformed him with Hispanics. He also outperformed him with blacks. He also outperformed him with white working class. So somehow Mike Rogers is going to outperform him because El Sayed is a DSA candidate. The independents in the Democratic polling had El Sayed winning independents by 10. And when normally it's a Republican, Democrat, even electorate, they had it modeled at a little advantage for the Democrats, a little advantage. Everything we saw, including primary voting, suggests that the polls that are modeling for Republican heavy electorates are wrong. And by the way, that includes in Florida tonight. If Democrats are holding their own in Florida, how do you think it's going to go in Michigan, where they already outvoted Republicans by over 400,000 votes? Ditto North Carolina, by the way. Ditto in Georgia, by the way. And in Texas, where they finally got what they wanted, the bragging rights of saying we outvoted Republicans in a real pound-to-pound contest. It's just not reality. So the answer to that, Radiohead, is I still have money on the Senate. I'm not putting any more on it because I don't like the odds at this point. I like the odds when they were 30%, and I'm up. So I don't know. If they fall again because the polling starts to tighten, I will review that again. Okay. But right now, for instance, on Kalshi, let me go and look. Let me go to my portfolio, my positions. They have a 49% chance. Man, I could cash out right now and do well, but I'm not going to because there's no way I'm giving up that bet. I'm only down on one, and I'm waiting for the markets to finally realize they gave the Republican way too much of a chance to win that district. Ooh! When are they paying out my David Crowley bet? I could sell it right now at 99 cents, or do I just wait for it to resolve? Wait for it to resolve. If I sell it now, I get, wait a minute, mark to market, cash out now. Oh, I get like nothing. I get like another hardly anything. I get another 0.12%. I could just cash out right now and take my money. I'm gonna let me see what happens. Yeah, I'm cashing out and taking my money. Mark to market. Give me my beans. Holy crap, I made bank. 31% on David Crowley because of 0.3. Once I realized she's going to live, there's not enough votes. I did get Crowley, and it's like a 31% on the margin that I got. I'm selling this right now. Thank you. Give me my money. Thank you very much. Speed alert for your Wagoneer. That's hilarious. Sold. Yes. I bought it 22. I am like a little better though, guys. Like I don't like to gamble much. so I don't bet high numbers, except for the Gallrin trade, Paul. Which, by the way, I don't know why I'm yelling at you, because I actually made bank on it. I was talking to Paul, my buddy, and I meant to actually get Massey's margin. And I don't know what I was doing. I was on the other side of the trade, and I grabbed Gallrin 5 to 10, and it was a lot. It was a big trade, and I was like, oh my god! And then by the time that night, I got a chance to sell it, I was good. I was good. So I was like pretty happy with it. I was upset, bro, at the time. But yeah, I would hold off on that. I would wait to see if Democrats come down a little. Barnes will tell you to buy it right now. We'll do another Senate thing soon. There's just no way, guys, like in the simulators, Republicans have a lot of tightening to do. And I just don't. I'm not someone who believes you can split hairs in predictions. It's the same reason why I told you that don't go and bet that Trump is going to win Pennsylvania but somehow lose Michigan. Like, those three states almost always vote together. The last time they didn't was in 1988, when Wisconsin went for Dukakis and Herbert Walker Bush won Pennsylvania and Michigan. Now the roles are kind of reversed. Trump, his best state in both 16 and in 20 was Wisconsin, outside of, Wisconsin was called to first, but Pennsylvania was very close to Wisconsin. But in 2020, Wisconsin was the closest. But by 24, Wisconsin actually was the closest margin for Trump, whereas in Michigan and in Pennsylvania, and by the way, this is all how New MAGA works, he easily won. Even though it looked kind of close, it really wasn't. And that's because when you expand your coalition into other areas of the working class and you start to reach non-whites, you do massive damage to their urban margins and their Black county margins and their Hispanic county margins. You go from 30% in Wayne County to 35%, and it strips them of thousands of votes. And that's what happened. And Trump even did better in Oakland, but then magically he's doing even better in Macomb and in Saginaw. That's what New MAGA did. It's tragic to even talk about, honestly. Honestly, it's tragic. Let me just check and see real quick. Whoops. Hold on. Yeah, it's okay. I'm just checking tips and stuff. Let's go to tips on locals. I think some of these are Grace, you needs to clip the last rant and separately the alien talk. Yeah, from quite frankly. Put them up on TikTok. Tell us who Angie Nixon is. Listen, Laura, if she was here, tell me not to do that. Let me marinate on it. That one we talked about. White pill for the night. Israel took the Minnesota governorship, but gave up Klobuchar's Senate seat in 2027. By Minnesota law, her seat is forced into a special election in 2020 law. Any other white pills from Rich? Listen, if there was a complete collapse in turnout in Florida, it would be disastrous. I am telling you, though, even at 1.7, they're still not at the advantage that they would need in order to say, all right, if we compare it to 2022, then we're right on par. It's not going to be an R plus nearly 16 electorate. So, it's not exactly how much I'd love, but is there another white pill tonight? Randy Fine is beatable. He wasn't beaten tonight, but he's beatable. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. Oh my God, is this a real clip? Oh my God, it is a real clip. Patrick, this is real. Oh my God. While I'm reading tips, let's have a funny moment. Oh my Lord, it's real. Okay, tonight we had a South Carolina primary debate, and Darlene Graham said this.
Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? And if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security. So
Great. Thank you, Donald Trump. Her brother was gay and she's an idiot. Fantastic. Ultra MAGA. I'll be honest with you. I'm not that informed on foreign policy and national security. Well, that's problematic, Darlene, because that's the job of a U.S. Senator. Holy shit, late stage empire called. This is why nepotism was frowned upon in the United States of America for most of the Republic. You don't pass Senate seats from sibling to sibling. This woman was a glorified counselor. She was an occupational therapist. Good profession, admirable profession. She wasn't even interested in politics. Pray for some miracle that Ralph pulls this off. And look at it. Does that look MAGA? Does that look like someone who's MAGA to you? That looks like a very typical Democratic voter in today's Democratic coalition. That's what Darlene Graham looks like. She's almost indistinguishable from like an Abigail Spanberger demographic. This is unreal. But don't worry, Chris LaCivita is making a fortune. Don't worry, Tony's got that contract. Ultra MAGA, Rich, how could you got to leave Tony alone. Rich, stop picking on Tony. He's Ultra MAGA. Fuck you. Darlene Graham, if Darlene Graham and S. Pushin in Greenwich Village, New York is MAGA, then I'm not stunned at all why you're bleeding coalition members. Holy crap. I gotta be honest with you, I'm just not. Yeah, let's one more time. Let's listen to that. Just so you know, I am not making this up. Let's go ahead and listen to Darlene Graham again answer a question on national security. Because honestly, I could play this 10 times and it wouldn't be enough.
Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? And if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security. So,
dear God, help us. Lord, I don't know. I'd say save us only for my children's sake. Did you get a half-assed sarcastic laugh out of median strategies? Oh my God, pea-pick and cute. This is what I'm talking about. Just because it's like I spent 10 years fighting the legacy media and pollster establishments because I wasn't part of the club. What they did to me is not the same as verifying whether or not a pollster is a credible pollster or is this a credible firm or not. For nobody who understands what they're doing, it's just, let me finish reading her comment, was just a short-term social experiment accident, right? I'm sure Bass will get right on that, aren't you? Yeah, I'm potentially waiting on the audible. Tick-tock, laugh, laugh, laugh. For people who don't know what she's talking about, Median Strategies put out polling showing Hong was going to win by like 20 points. It turned out to be a complete sham. And they put out a press release saying, we were just trying to show you how easy it is to get completely fake polling in the media space. It wasn't a real poll, as so many are not, by the way. They're not real pollsters. And unfortunately, while I was doing this and fighting this fight for no good reason, apparently, I did alter the polling industry, but I democratized it in a way where it's like, it's an overcorrection. Now everyone and their mother is manipulating markets. Now everyone and their mother is putting out polls. There are too many polls and not enough pollsters. That's humiliating for our industry, and it's humiliating for the election mafia who once played gatekeeper and now have just completely opened the door. Humiliating. There are basic standards of disclosure that need to be met, and people aren't meeting them. And then they cry like little bitches when you call them out on it. And look at this. It pisses me off, honestly. It really does. Prohibited myself from reading. I see my food is here, but I got to finish the comments. Prohibited myself from reading, turn on TV, podcast, doing happy talk on ours, doing better than we think. I suppressed the urge to smash my TV. Phone rings. It's a boomer boy. We're losing because we didn't keep corning. Me, we suck everywhere thanks to the war. Him, no, it's Paxton. Everyone understood Iran can't have a bomb. I'm surrounded by insanity. He's lucky we don't live together. He'd find a frying pan upside his head. Thank you. Thank God you're back, Rich. I'm thankful that you listen. I really am. Paxton's in a position that he's in. You're only getting one side of it. Like, oh, it's Cornyn because we got rid of Cornyn and he's lazy. I heard Mark Halpern saying, I like Mark, but that's the donor side of this. Let me tell you what's really going on. This is what the GOP does. When you defeat one of their fake fugazi conservatives and you try to replace them, this is why so many people are going to flock to this third party if this isn't fixed, because too many damn people are on to this game. This is why the party's not reformable. Every time you play by their rules and you beat them at their game, despite being outspent over 100 million to 5 million, they take their ball and they go home. And now the donors are suppressing their funds from Ken. It's not that he's a lazy fundraiser. He can't get them to give them money. They're doing it on purpose. They want Ken to lose. They would rather Tallarico win than actually get somebody America first. That's the truth. I miss Russian Charlie. Me too. Every single day, Michael. Every single day. What do we got here? Survey USA poll. See, people thought I was effing around. Here's your bump for Lisa DeMuth. Here's your bump. This is all you did. Congratulations. Do you remember these idiots, by the way, when I went out there and I said, when I fought back against the town hall crew, and I'm like, I got news for you. You're all losing by 20 points to Amy Klobuchar, not just Mike Lindell. At least Mike Lindell is something new and you could try something new, but you're all losing to Amy Klobuchar. She's above 50% and she's beating you all basically 55 to 35. Here's what it is. That ain't big data poll. And by the way, even though my poll was 2 months old, it was still more accurate than KSTP. We had a closer race. Even before the immigration mess up with Lindell, that definitely hurt him. Here's Lisa making it competitive. I told you, they're all losing by 20 points. And that poll is the poll that put out, even though their second to last poll had Lindell up by 5. Their last poll had Lindell up by 9. And they changed their headline from Lindell has a lead to
Demuth in striking distance. So that what I'm trying to tell you is that's as friendly as it's getting for Lisa DeMuth. You idiots, you town hall toady. You know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to you, dumbass. And who was the only pollster, stupid, who actually predicted correctly that Donald Trump, who you didn't like, was close to beating Hillary Clinton in Minnesota? Who was the only pollster to do that? As a matter of fact, the Survey USA KSTP TV poll had Hillary up by like 8. I absolutely nailed it. And the second closest was Spencer, who didn't even get indexed that year in Minnesota. Spencer, Kimball, and Emerson College, who I believe also had it like Clinton +3 or something. And we were Clinton plus 2.1 or 2. 44, 42, whatever. Almost nailed it. Right on the dot, almost. There you go. There's your competitive race now. To victory! Idiots. Why on earth you haven't won a statewide race with these cookie cutter establishment Minnesota nice idiots since 2006? 2 decades. Tim Pawlenty. Why on earth would you think cutting the same cookie with the same cookie cutter, the same vanilla bread bullshit, is going to do anything different? At least with Lindell, you had some prayer of getting some of the Trump or buster, Trump-only voter, which is constantly missing in a midterm in Minnesota. At least you had some prayer of getting them out to help some of the congressional seats, to help some of the local offices. He was going to get crushed. Well, look at the fuck are you doing? Was Lindell going to get less than 36%, you fucking toady? Good job, stupid. Let's pick the Speaker of the House who presided over the fraud. She's real convincing. Dumbasses. You're all fucking stupid. That's the truth. You're all fucking stupid. And I have to watch you be stupid. And it is actually painful. Thank you for that, Ryan. And here, actually, though, here is good news. Thank you, Ryan. Here is good news. Validating our polling once more, by the way. Validating our polling once more. Democrats messed this up. They did. They messed this up. And, I told people in the Minnesota GOP, so I was like hoping and praying Flanagan would win this nomination because Peggy Flanagan is only 5 points ahead of Michelle Tafoya. They could make this a real race. I'm not kidding. Angie Craig was demolishing Michelle Tafoya. She was demolishing Royce White. And by demolishing, I mean like 20 points. Just absolutely crushing it. By the way, Fishback won 89% of the vote in the Florida State University precinct. That's interesting. But again, of course, he won the young vote. Of course. But there just wasn't enough. Because they're all those who are even voting, sure. But they're done. They're done, man. I don't know what they're going to do in November. I'm telling you, Republicans are they're going to be missing 30% of their turnout. And for everyone jumping up and down thinking Florida was a good result today, I got news for you. Even when Republicans underperformed expectations in 22, what were the 2 states where they did not? Florida. And what was the other one? North Carolina. They both had their own red waves all throughout the state. Republicans got super majorities. What's happening in North Carolina this time? Oh, that's right. But at least this is a race. Maybe they can spend some money there. Maybe they can help. Maybe they can force Democrats to spend money there, which will take it away from like Texas. That's the hope, you know?
The odds are very high. Gray, burn it down, baby. That's what it's all about. The odds are very high. It's either MAGA or Mamdani, folks. It can't be one of the other. It can't be both. And it can't be a third. There's no third. Like, there seems to be this idea among these dumb neocons that there's a third path, a third choice, a third option. There is not. It's either MAGA or Mamdani. If you don't give them real MAGA, not the fake ass version, if you don't give them real MAGA, they're going with Mamdani. It's a midterm election. It'll be a mild side effect compared to what's going to happen to you in a presidential cycle if you don't do this. When they do vote in higher numbers, even when it's a low turnout, those margins can still crush you. See 2012. See 2012. Chip manufacturing, why is it all in Taiwan? It's a good question. That's a good question. I love this guy. Now that Trump has won Hormuz, will you apologize? Gray is, of course, our resident sarcastic commenter. Oh, you didn't hear, guys? Oh, yeah. Trump just declared it's no longer international waters. It's definitely not run by Iran. He's now just totally seized control. It's now U.S. territory, Strait of Hormuz. So the war is over, guys. You can all go home now. We won. Woo! Gas is going back to $1.50. You haven't heard? Remember, Gray, you remember when fucking idiots like Dave Rubin were like, shut up, Barnes. Shut up, Barris. They're not even going to close the strait if they know what's good for them. Dave, you can't buy smarts like you buy babies, bro. All right? Then it's not for sale, bro. There's no market for added intelligence. All right? It's like, I can't make a baby. I'll just buy one. You can't make smarts though, bro. There's no market for that yet. There's no store. There's no egg store, bro. All right? There's no egg store for intelligence. Michael, Vindman's a piece of shit. Trump should deport him to Ukraine, specifically the front line in Ukraine. Amen, bro. What are we doing here? We can't even get rid of traitors like Alexander Vindman. This is the rant I was talking about. Which one? Okay. I mean, I'll find it. Any white pills for Florida tonight? The turnout is not as low as it could have been. There's no doubt. I mean, it's not terrible. That's not terrible turnout. It isn't great at all. So don't act like it's great now, but it isn't terrible. And for those who just joined, we went over the numbers. Why? Again, I will briefly say this. In 2022, Republicans had a over 5-point turnout advantage. They will end with roughly a 12-point turnout advantage tonight, probably. But in 22, they only had a 400,000 voter registration edge. Today, they have a 1.6 million edge. That is a factor of 4 times the size. So if you are going to triple from 4, 8, 12, 16, which is 1.6, if you're going to do the equivalent to make it comparable, the turnout advantage for Republicans should have been about, and I'm napkin mathing it here based on I'm rounding before, they should have had a turnout advantage of about 15.6, if not closer to 16 percentage points. That is not going to happen tonight. So even though Republicans did a decent job of getting out, they didn't get out as comparable as they should have to 22. And because Democrats also voted, right? So it actually shows that Democrats probably still have their, proportionate turnout edge. Democrats decisively won the early vote period with mail-in voting. Republicans went into a combined mail-in and in-person. They went into Election Day with roughly a 50,000 vote advantage. It was not that big, but the Election Day swamp that is Republican turnout, there's still a culture of Election Day turnout in Florida, swamped Democrats. But unfortunately, where turnout was heavy, like we could see this right here in the, okay, it was an error. Let's see what Fishback actually got. Oh, Bilzerin's original vote share was an era. Oh, get the fuck out of here. No one's going to let that go now. Oh, boy. Fishback won every college campus precinct, every single one. Fishback also won both young precincts at the University of Tampa, overwhelmingly. He won 89% in Florida State University's precincts. Oh, my God. So he did. It's just that he didn't win enough of them. You know, I mean, enough of them did not come out. And that's what my point is between the young part of the MAGA coalition and between the non-white part, even overlapping elements there, obviously, because the younger Republicans are more non-white than older Republicans. That is where they turnout lagged. You know, going into today, you had a place like Collier County, which was already at like 22%. Whereas Miami-Dade was like 13 point something. It was pathetic. Palm Beach, same thing. So I would have rather have seen those precincts have comparable turnout than what we saw here tonight. But still, it could have been worse. It's just that what we're seeing is like core Republican white voting. And that's not enough for a national election, guys. It's not. I hate to say it. Now, does it mean Florida's going to flip? No, but it will mean that Byron Donalds will probably need money that should be going to other candidates like Zach Lane in Iowa. Instead, big GOP donors are going to basically ostracize him because he's Maha, and they're going to be giving their money to like Byron Donalds and Greg Abbott, who are struggling. Now we can dispense with the bullshit that the polls are wrong and Abbott's this poll's fake, and you know because Abbott's in single digits. Well, now your great Fox poll you just touted because of Mike Rogers also shows Greg Abbott is only ahead by a few points. You can't do that. You take one, you take them all. I thought you wanted Mike Rogers to be up in Michigan. You can't decide the Fox poll in Texas is bullshit, but the one in Michigan is good. It's bullshit in Ohio where Sherrod Brown's up 8 points, 4 points out of the average error. Patrick Ruffini's little analysis he just did, which, by the way, is not a novel analysis. Sean Trendy and I both did that a few years ago. And yet it didn't help Republicans in 22. Now did it? Because Sean Trendy and I both did it ahead of the 22 election. You guys remember? Hey, gorgeous. What up? You got my food?
Yeah.
That camera's on, and I would not walk in front of it with that shirt on. You want to say hello?
Hi.
I'm going to get off anyway. I'm basically done.
I'm heat exhausted.
Yeah, she was out painting my son's senior parking spot. You didn't paint it yet?
Baby, do you know how hard it is to do this? It's like a mural.
How many days is this going to take?
I don't know.
Can he go and paint that himself now that you drew it out for him?
Baby,
Stay within the lines. The lines are our
I
friends.
know the lines are our friends,
Jesus
but
Christ.
He changed the lines and changed it 50 times. And
Go and eat my enchiladas.
I wanted to lovingly
Look at our audience for a Tuesday primary night that I just last minute put together. Woo woo.
Let's go.
Nothing but love for everybody who sent super chats. They could. Spontaneous tone. Absolutely, they could. And we will be doing an update soon. Right now. Listen, it's funny because the decision desk model actually puts it very well. You know, they have it like 51% Republican, 49% Democrat in the Senate, but that's actually not true. If you run their modeling, what you'll see is that the scenario likelihood tells the story. And what do I mean by that? This is what I'm always trying to warn you about. If you think about the Great Lakes states, you could say, well, there's a 52% chance that Kamala Harris wins Michigan and only a 48% chance that Donald Trump wins Michigan. But Trump has a 54% chance of winning Pennsylvania, and he's got a 52% chance of winning Wisconsin. That's the way they all looked going into 24. And my argument to you was simple. The most likely scenario is not that Trump wins this one or this two, and she wins that one or this two. The most likely scenario is that if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he wins Michigan and Wisconsin. That was the most likely. And in Decision Desk's model, the most likely, which is a 5 out of 8 outcome, greater than half, is that Democrats take both houses. Why? Because if Sherrod Brown wins Ohio, their model spikes from a 49% chance Democratic takeover to an 82% chance of a Democratic takeover. Why? Because it tells you Democrats are performing with certain demographics that are going to spill over to other states. You don't hold it in isolation. It doesn't work that way. Can there be weird situations where, like, Republicans lose Iowa and Ohio, but somehow win Michigan, and then, God, it saves them? Yeah, sure. When was the last time we saw that happen? I was talking to Mark Halpern about this the other day. I say, Mark, you can't say this one leans Republican, but North Carolina is somehow now a toss-up. North Carolina won. If North Carolina 1 goes and Lori Buckhout loses North Carolina 1, then guess what? Corey Mills is going to lose in Florida. That's how this works. And by the way, Corey did not put up a very good performance tonight. He's weak because he is a flawed candidate. And somehow the White House didn't friggin' listen. And they should have kicked his ass out and replaced him with someone else before it was too late. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. And now here we are. Corey Mills, you want to see how he did, guys, real quick before we go? Because after this, I'm going to go and I'm going to go eat before my food gets cold. Look at how Corey Mills performed tonight. Worse than Randy Fine. This is a flawed candidate. Oh, he lost. Corey Mills did lose. It's over. He's done. Oh, my God. Thank God. Oh, my God. Thank God. He lost. Oh, God. Barnes was like, dude, it's close. It's like even. And I'm like, he should lose. Barnes, he should lose. Because I know Barnes was going to go bet on it. And I'm like, dude, he's going to lose. Don't worry. He's going to lose. Thank God. Oh. Well, that helps. But again, if you lose North Carolina 1, for instance, then like Laura Boebert is not holding on. I don't know what to tell you. The idea that somehow that shit's going to happen is a joke. It's not how it works. When these blocks fall, if the levees break, all of those cute little lean R races are gone. But they got to win 54% of the 77 districts that are R+4 to D+4. Bitch, they represent 54 of them already. They're going to sweep the rest of them. That's what happens. Guess what I did? Shame on me. Oh, what if Pastor's watching? Sorry, Pastor. She literally, after church, she's literally like, you gotta forgive his potty mouth, Pastor. I'm like, I give it with the bark on, baby. The Lord knows me. The Lord knows me. The Lord understands my frustration. Oh, God, you're shaming me. Oh, the Lord understands. Oh, thank God Corey Mills lost. Goodbye. Now that Corey Mills is done, let's call it what it is. Here's exactly what I'm talking about with these fake-ass people in the Republican Party. And they're everywhere. But these fake-ass people, this is a man who pretends like he's the embodiment of evangelical values. Then why are you getting on your knees, bro, and praying to Allah 3 times a day? You forget to tell the Republican primary voter that? You forgot to tell your friends at Fox News that? Here he is pretending that I am such a family man. Look at my wife and my kids and my cute little photograph. Meanwhile, this guy chases everything with a skirt above the age of 18 years old. He's disgusting. He tries to bone every legislative assistant. He chases every tail that's new that comes into town. He's gross. Goodbye, Corey, you freaking fraud. You're the worst of us. You make us all look like shit, and I'm glad you got sent home packing. Never come back again, bro. Get right with Jesus or Allah. Sorry. Get right with Allah, bro. Scumbags. Want to come to my beach house, little girl? Want to come to my beach house, little girl? Go home to your wife. You piece of shit. Maybe you're be going home to your wife now. Because ain't nobody going to care about you. No more Ashley tail chasing for you, dude. I said Ashley tail chasing, Laura. Calm down, baby. Graham's sis. Oh, you should have seen Lindsey Graham's sister debate performance tonight. Hey, is this place a threat? I gotta tell you, can you repeat the question? Are these people a threat? Greta, foreign policy is not really my strong suit. I'm not really very schooled in national security. Well, that's problematic, Darlene, because that's the job. Holy crap. Graham's sister reminds me of Ashley Webb. What a damn winner. That was an easy effing question. I mean, no, I consider it's politics 101. You're giving me those nice night warm fuzzies in my stomach. I mean, honestly, that was a softball from Greta. And she, was like, here, let me underhand that shit to you. And she was like, not even. Thanks for setting up my nightmare. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. She did it. Ashley, I was dying to see the percentage of people that were actually taking her seriously. This shit is so damn insane. It's not even funny anymore. It's not. Burying myself in the backyard is looking better and better. Oh my God, please don't do that. But it's not funny anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This isn't funny. John Cornyn has been defeated in a primary, but they're holding back money from Ken Paxton because we defeated John Cornyn, who couldn't even tell me about Myths of Empire. Do you remember that Twitter fight like 2 years ago? I'm like, John, you haven't read that book, you liar. Don't Google it, John. What's a myth of empire, John? Why do you, at your ancient age, why do you constantly link everything to Munich? Tell me why. Do you know why that is? You don't realize why you're doing it? It's a confirmation bias, a framing bias, a bunch of different biases, along with cognitive dissonance. But you are part of a generation that tells itself myths, and we all do. Myths are generational. Not everything is Munich, bro, and not every bad guy's Hitler, bro. And he's like, I know what I know. No, you don't. Stop lying, John. Don't use Google. They don't know what they're talking about. This is a major problem. Our founders were part-time legislators, and they were infinitely more informed than these idiots. And the worst part about it is, apparently, they have to die before we can replace them. And what happens? Some of them get replaced by their stupid simpleton sister. The Republican Senate, the Senate during the Republic, even held the post-Republic era of Rome, was more credible than the Senate we have today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. At least those men understood their issues. They were selfish and spoiled and corrupt, and sure, so are ours. But at least they're informed. At least they understood the issues that face the empire. These people are clueless. Being in this business is even scarier because you will meet a lot of them and you will just listen to them talk, and the world behind you just eventually just fades and their voice gets really low, and you're just having a conversation with yourself saying, oh my God, this person is stupid. God help us. Murkowski's father. He put her in that seat. Remember that? Thank you, Paul. Lisa Murkowski's daddy put her in that chair. Lisa has an IQ of like 50. This is a stupid woman. Woo! We're in trouble. It's true. The lobby's got it all captured, and we seemingly are paralyzed to be able to reform it. It's terrible. It's not good. We're in a bad way here, guys. That's why we can't meet our challenges. Forget about their intellectual caliber, their moral character. The spine of these people is non-existent. And the few good ones that go there get jaded. It's a problem. And that's why we needed a leader who was going to come in and burn it all down. Oh, you like how I did that? Don't forget the link is in the description. If you haven't pre-ordered Burn It Down, go do so. It is absolutely the book of the 2026 midterm cycle, and it will be the book of 2-3 cycles plus to come. Generational change is coming. The revenge of the millennials is inevitable. If we're not the champions of them, we're going to get steamrolled. And we got to start with understanding how millennials and Generation Z think. Otherwise, we're screwed. It's that simple. Guys, it's that simple. What are you going to do when those old farts in Florida can't come out and vote anymore because they're dead? Sorry, it's time to just have real talk here. I'm not saying that to be mean. It's a fact of life. Like I said in that interview that was playing on Alex that I had with Frank, these people are literally dying in front of our eyes. And we have no plan to meet the needs of the next majority. It is the most important conversation. If you haven't pre-ordered it, definitely go pre-order it. Okay, I'm going to get out of here and go eat with my wife at 9:56 at night, which is not good for you. You should not eat dinner late, but I did a very, very severe workout today with arms and back, and I am hungry. I'm going to eat, then I'm going to have a protein shake. You know, when you work out really hard, you just want to eat like a whole chicken, like a whole cow. Like, I'm starving. All right. My muscles are like, protein. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go do that, even though it's 10 o'clock. You should not eat that late, though, because it's not that good for you. Don't make a habit of it. All right. Other than that, don't forget, if you like the videos, to like them and to share them far and wide. Go follow me on the gram, which is the same as on X, at peoples_pundit. And the new TikTok is peoples.pundit, which is actually getting kind of, I haven't done much on it because TikTok doesn't like me very much. Oh my God, I just gained like 40 followers. Woo, woo. Anyway, yeah, I applied for verification on TikTok, and apparently Real Clear Politics and Fox News are not legitimate news outlets. Yeah, the examples, they're like, can you give us examples of you on news outlets? And I'm like, okay. And apparently Fox and Real Clear Politics, I don't think I gave them anything else. It was all Fox, Real Clear Politics. And they were like, those aren't reputable news outlets. Okay, I guess I'll have to get on CNN, maybe MSNBC, and then we'll get on there. Nothing but love for you guys. I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of an autopsy. By the way, next Monday is What Are the Odds? So don't forget. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night with your family. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, nothing but love for you. Thank you for your support, your super chats, your tips, all of that. And even to those who just share the videos, we do appreciate every single one of you. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Sleep tight.